what can I say? The train that is college football does not stop. And with the momentum we've been building here at the Tailgate on Pub Sports Radio, they couldn't stop us if they tried. I mean, week 13, shit, I could cry, honestly. But I'm not going to do it because there's money to be made. There's still bets to be placed. But I look back, I say, where is the season gone? Well, I can tell you where it's gone. It's gone right into your bank account if you've been here with us, right? Every Saturday on the Tailgate, been cashing tickets, making money. For those who don't know, this is a best bet driven show. So if you can, really quick, get your pen and paper out, get ready, because we unload a clip. A lot of good cappers come on, my favorite college football cappers, out there, and give out all their action for free. That's how it goes. Real quick, I want to shout you guys out in the chat, though. Kevin Foster, I see you out there. Justin dropping stacks in the chat. I want to let people trickle in here, Justin, and then I'll come back to that, and we'll definitely hit stacks. Smoky Potts, Truth Teller, financially free and focused. That's how we all should be, my guy. That's how we all should be. Slammy66, good to see you. Everybody rolling in, man. Thank you guys for rocking with us here at the Tailgate. This has been a blast, honestly. This is what I've always wanted to do, is get here and cap with you guys on Saturdays, talk about football week in and week out, make money, help people get paid. And I've loved it. I've loved every second of it. That being said, we got a huge slate today. We got some big games. Playoff pictures taking shape. I say that the last couple of weeks, but everything could change. The landscape that is the playoffs, in a week might not be the same as it is right now. So we got a lot of big games. We got a lot of stuff to get to. So let's do it, man. You guys know how this goes. I got a couple cappers that I bring here with me every week. The same three. I say the two, but the same three that start this show off. And they've been killing it, man. This guy's been coming on betting with the bag. He's been going on with Jose on Wednesdays. And shout out to my dude, Jose. He just dropped me like 35 graphics for today because we got a lot of games to talk about on the spot. He got them ready, got them cooked up. Thank you, Jose. You make this thing tick. We couldn't do it without you. But this guy, man, he goes on with Jose. He goes on betting with the bag. He's here every Saturday with us. He goes on Who Bangin' Sports. And God, this year, one word can describe what he's done. Domination. That's what it's been. Our guy right here, Wine Time Sports. What up, Wine Time?
What up, Cab? Good to be here with you, man. Per usual on a Saturday, man. We haven't missed one Saturday yet. It's bittersweet, man, because we've been making a lot of cash this season, but at the same time, these Saturdays, every Saturdays are going to come to an end here shortly. But we got bowl season, we got playoff season. We were talking a lot about it backstage, man. I'm looking forward to it, but it's a blessing to be here with you, Moose, Guns, every Saturday, man.
Hell yeah. I want to sit there and just keep going one time, like talking about the season, talking about who I think is going to be Heisman maybe, or the playoff picture, right? Talking about A&M being 15th and only at a 2.5 spread against so many things I want to talk about. But I cut it short. We're only 4 minutes in. I got you up here. I got to get our next guy up here because we got to go. We got people ready to fire away. I see one of them in the chat who's about to pop up here, my dude Guns. God, he's been killing it for us this year. I see Tone Miggins in the chat. Man Bear Pig. He said it's 7 a.m. You guys on the West Coast are here at 7 a.m. I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you again for tuning into the Tailgate. Here at Pub Sports Radio, it means a ton. You have options galore, right? There's so many different choices when it comes to who you want to get your college football information on a Saturday from. And you guys choose here to be here with us. So thank you. Hit the like button. Share this video. Let's get it out there. Let's make this the worst day for the bookies all year. And I know this guy's going to help us do just that. If you have not yet subscribed to the Moose Dive, you're missing out. I always said drive. The Moose Dive, you're missing out. All you got to do is drop your email, and this guy breaks down, tons of games every week. He gives you in-depth analysis. It's 100% free. We don't charge you for anything here. And he brings it right to you every week. My dude, Moose Money Bets. What up, Moose?
Yo, hey, I am so thankful and a week of giving thanks and a week of appreciation that I've been able to do this with you guys all year. And I am extremely happy about what I got today with all the different games with Louisville and oh my God, why I just come out the gates and I'm already blanking.
It's early over here on the West Coast.
Louisville and Pitt. Sorry, I don't know why my brain.
Why is that the game of all the games? Why the fuck is Louisville and Pitt?
Because I was gonna build up. Because the idea is you build up.
Oh, okay.
You got Louisville and Pitt. You got Colorado and Kansas. Then you get to the big games like Army and Notre Dame, Ohio State and Indiana, and then our game, Cab, Auburn and Texas A&M. So many different games that we got going on today. So I'm very happy to be able to break down. And just a little teaser, I have a mega play that I've never done this year, and I'm trying it out today, a mega play in one of those games I just listed.
By mega play, do you mean you have a lot of money on it, or you're just calling it a mega play?
Plays on the same game, same side.
I don't understand. We'll get there.
Right.
Same game, same side. Mega play. Okay, we got a mega play from Moose, man. Can't get any better than that. Nunya, good to see you. Mr. Green Thumb rolling in there. Rob, good to see you in the chat. Everybody, man. And if you are listening, Mr. Don, good to see you. If you're listening and not typing in the chat, figure it out, man. We want you in here. Hop in this chat with us. It doesn't get better than the chat at Pub Sports Radio. It's all a community, man. Even if you disagree or you're like Big Scott and you want to come in here and, talk about somebody being a loser, I don't give a shit what it is. Come on into the chat. We want you in here. You're welcome here. We want to see what you're betting on. We want to know what you're thinking, and we want to get paid. Speaking of getting paid, this next guy, every week, he's been money. I think maybe 1 week he had like a 1 and 2 week possibly. But for the most part, this entire season has been money in the bank, starting this show off the absolute right way, getting to his best bet before we hit the 10-minute mark every week. And like I said, it couldn't get better than this. One of my favorite college football cappers, one of my friends in this industry, Guns Picks. What up, Guns?
Yeah, there's a leadoff hitter, and I'm hitting like, 600? That means I am Hall of Fame material. This is unload the clip time, boys, and I am unloading the clip heavily. And you talk about big games. We're talking Western Kentucky and Liberty, Troy versus Louisiana. So massive games this week. And I can't wait to get into the board. I'm going to give out a 3-unit banger to the people today. This is like and when I hit a 3-unit banger, I gave you one out last week with Baylor. I'm about to give you another one here right on this show. So stay ready.
Damn, we got a mega bet from Moose, a 3-unit banger from Guns. Today's shaping up to be a beautiful day. I want to go ahead and hit this stacks. I'm not the quickest at production right here, but let me go ahead and hit stacks. Oh, he brought 2 for us. Hell yeah. Or 3. We got 3 stacks today. So shout out to Justin. We got Georgia in college basketball at plus 6.5. He knows about his dogs too. He gave the dogs out full game against Tennessee, brought us money on that. So shout out to you, stacks. And then for college football right here, he's got BYU plus 3. Oh, is it only 2? Okay, yeah, just 2. BYU plus 3 for college football. Shout out to our guy Stacks, man. Let me run that one time.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
There we go. Shout out one more time to Stacks. Momentum's already building in the day. I can feel it. The 3-unit play, the mega bet. Thomas in the chat, good to see you, man. Let's do this thing, Guns. Let's do this thing like we always do. Let's get these people paid. What are we going to look at first, man?
Yeah, let's start with Western Kentucky versus Liberty in Williams Stadium, Lynchburg, VA. 1 p.m. is the kick. And you have this is a big game with Conference USA. We have Western Kentucky 7-3 on the year. You got a Liberty team that's 7-2 on the year. But you have Liberty, some great stats, but their schedule is weak sauce. They have one of the worst, if not the worst, schedule in college football, 134th toughest schedule in the country. And then you have Western Kentucky, pass-oriented offense. They're ranked 11th in pass completion rate, 18th in pass yards per play, and 34th in pass yards per game. Liberty statistically looks good versus the pass, but they face nothing but run-oriented teams. So this is a step up in class that they are not prepared for today. And then Liberty is a team that barely beat UMass. I said take UMass last week, I believe. Then we have a loss to Kent State, played within a possession of New Mexico State and FIU. This is they just play within the level of their competition, and now they got to play a tough opponent in Western Kentucky, and also revenge factor. Pound of flesh game, boys. Western Kentucky lost to Liberty 42-29 at home as 5.5-point home dogs, and now they're favored on the road. In a lot of the situations, I think they're plus 1.5. The line is shifted towards the other side. However, shorter line on the road than it was last year. And Western Kentucky is 2-0 ATS off a loss this year, 3-1 ATS in the dog roll. I haven't been high on Liberty all year, and I'm not going to even take them again. I love fading Liberty. It is a cash machine by doing this because Liberty is 1-4 ATS this season at home. and in conference play. Give me Western Kentucky on the money line as the play.
I mean, Liberty in the past have been a team that's been fun to bet, especially when you get them on a Thursday or something, but that's not the same Liberty this year. Completely different Liberty football team this year. This is the only one of your four that I don't have a graphic for, Guns. I'm sorry about that. I got the other three. Sorry, chat. I sent that to Jose late. That one was on me. But I want to ask Moose and Wine Time what they got to think about it. Joey, good to see you in the chat, man. Everybody who's rolling in, hit the like if you haven't. You know, we're up over 100 people already crawling up. Let's hit that 200 mark. I want to end the season. You know, next week's the last regular week of college football before we get to the conference playoffs and the playoffs and, you know, the bowl games. And I want to end this doing something for you guys in the chat, maybe a giveaway or something. Let's hit that 200 mark and we'll do it. Dutch, good to see you, man. Dutch will be back up here with us this week. But Moose, real quick, thoughts on the Liberty game?
The concern for me would be the Western Kentucky ground game, which has been poor this year. It's also a weird line. It opened up as Western Kentucky as a favorite, and then it is flipped to Liberty as a favorite. But, I mean, it went from like -1 to -1, so like just basically the money line switched. But the rush defense is a concern for me with Western Kentucky. But, look, Guns has been crushing these type of bets, and I think we all have seen how I've been glazing over some of these bets, and I tail them. So I'm not going to talk too much crap here, but I do think that the Western Kentucky rush defense is a concern, but Liberty has not faced any kind of passing offense like they're about to. So all the stats you see on them where they rank like in the top 25 in terms of EPA pass defense, success rate defensively against the pass, all that has to have a huge asterisk next to it because, like Guns pointed out, they have not faced anything close to what they're about to see with Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I agree. Tough spot for me, honestly. You mentioned it. They opened up as a dog, now a favorite for Liberty. I don't know too much about either of these teams. I backed Western Kentucky earlier this year. Yeah, their rush defense is awful, though. I got nothing in this one, guys. This is a clear-cut pass for me. I'm gonna let Guns get this cash on this one.
Oh, yeah. I think our guy Thomas is making sure that this isn't the 3-unit one. Is this just 1 unit?
No, this is. I'll tell you when the 3-unit one comes up. Trust me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Nut Flush, good to see you in the chat, man. Good shit on that UTSA team total over. I heard you texted people about it, and it's funny though because hold on, let me look one more time. Yeah, no Nut Flush, no text message to old Cabby here. No, I'm just kidding, Nut Flush. Shout out to that that UTSA team total over, man. Good shit, Nut Flush.
That was money, man. That was money.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, let's keep this thing rolling. Guns. You 1 unit Western Kentucky took them on the money line there. What's the next one we're going to? And I got graphics now for you.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to save my 3-unit one for the last, of course.
That's a good choice.
Talk about a little bit of Indiana versus Ohio State at Ohio Stadium, Columbus, Ohio. Yes, I do bet in the top 25 once in a while if I see an opportunity.
I didn't know that.
There's one here right now with the Hoosiers. That is smoking. I love Kurt Signetti. He's made me a lot of money this year. He's 10-0 on the year with a plus 30-point differential, plus 198 net yard average. Unheard of statistical numbers there from the Hoosiers. And they're going against an Ohio State team that is a little bit of a step up in class, 9-1 on the year with a plus 28-point differential, plus 201 net yard average. So statistically, pretty aligned with one another, right? Indiana's offense has done well in the first 7 games. However, they have come back down to earth, putting up 312 yards of total offense versus Washington, 385 yards versus Michigan State. And, of course, the barometer, the best defense they faced all year in Michigan, only put up 246 yards of total offense. Ohio State is one of the best, if not the best defense in the country. They're number 1 in opposing points per game. They're second in opposing yards per game. 4th in opposing rush yards per carry and yards per game. 5th in opposing pass yards per game. Should I keep going? They're top 5 in every key statistical category on the defensive side of the ball. We have Ohio State holds opponents to 126 yards below their season average and 126 yards below their season average at home. To compare, to give you kind of a barometer of where this Ohio State defense is, Michigan held Indiana to 20 points, 246 yards of total offense, which was 100 yards below their season average. Michigan is ranked 31st in opposing yards per game and 45th in opposing scoring. Like I said, Ohio State top 5 in all those categories. So big step up in class on the defensive side. Indiana is also a top 5 rush defense, but has given up some production in the passing game because they're ranked 80th in pass completion percentage, 27th in opposing pass yards per game, And Ohio State's offense can beat you in the run or the pass. It doesn't really matter. They're fifth in pass completion percentage, fifth in passing yards per play, and 27th in pass yards per game. Both teams statistically have dominated in most of their games. Ohio State has faced a tougher schedule. They faced the 9th toughest schedule in the country, folks, and they're putting up stats similar to Indiana. However, Indiana has faced the 62nd toughest schedule. High indicators here with the 5th-ranked team being a double-digit dog on the road versus the number 2 team in the country. Come on, guys. I love Indiana too, but I can't ignore the line. The books are telling you a story, and you get value here. I'm seeing 10.5 and 11s hit the board now, but I got Ohio State minus 10 here, so give it to me all day long. Buckeyes, OHIO minus 10 as the play.
I love reading the chat, too, as you go along with this. You got a lot of people agreeing with you. Only person I see in the chat, shout out Christopher. He's on Indiana, man, and that's what I'm talking about. We want to see
He
your
has
comments.
Indiana minus 10. I mean, what line did he get? Was that plus 1,000? What are you doing?
That's a good point. Jesse says Buckeyes smash Nutflush. We're talking about the team totals. Nutflush came in and he said he is on Ohio State's team total over 31.5 minus 110. He also said my phone was on mute. So not only do I not get the text, I get. Yeah, I figured Moose would laugh at that. Yeah, Moose, you like that one, don't you?
Yeah, that's great. It's great.
Yeah. Shout out to Nasty Nate. This is the energy we need, man. He shows up late. He says, "I'm here now. Start over." We'll just do that real quick for you, Nate. We'll run it back right back to the beginning, man. Yeah, glad you're in here, man. Everybody in the chat, hit that like. Wine Time, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat. NJ Striker, Nutflush Allen, my guy. Financially Free and Focused, Christopher LeClaire, Ron Lofton, my guy right there. Jesse Gomez, Justin. Hopefully, to see you up here again. I saw Dutch Boy was in here. Good to see you, my guy. Yeah, guys. I broke this down with Jose on Wednesday. Love this game. I got a worse number than what it is right now. It's down to Guns just gave it out at minus 10. I'm going to bet it again at a minus 10 here. Guys, he pretty much touched on every point I was going to touch on. Ohio State, clear-cut strength of schedule is much better. This is a top 5 matchup, guys, and we're seeing a double-digit favor. Was 13.5 throughout the week. We saw a lot of the public coming in, hammering Indiana. Some injury news about Ohio State came in. I believe that's why the number is going towards Indiana in this spot. I don't really think it's the books being afraid of the market in this case. And guys, Curtis York, shout out to him, man, having a great season coming over the transfer from Ohio. Watch him play at the Rose Bowl, man. I watched him convert on 3rd and 18 at least 5 times in that game. And he's so accurate. He plays turnover-free football. He's a good football player. And shout out to Kurt Signetti, man. Shout out to everyone that's been backing these Indiana Hoosiers. I know my guy Kong's out there. He said he's on an island, Indiana. You've been making cash on him all year. Totally get why you're backing him in this spot. It's not a team that I have really been backing this season. And, looking at the market, looking at the eye test in this one, Ohio State absolutely needs this game. This is a $30 million roster. This team needs this win. They have to win this game. And not only that, I think they're going to win by 20 plus. I think what's going to happen when Indiana actually has to face some adversity. They haven't really faced that this season. Watch Ohio State go up early, and Indiana's not going to know what to do from playing from behind. They're going to be totally thrown off in this spot, playing in a hostile environment, an environment that Indiana has not played in yet this year. With that being said, man, Ohio State smash spot all day long here, guys. This team's got one of the best rosters on paper. They've got a really good head coach. They've got Chip Kelly, a good offensive mind over there. They need to win this game. This is a must-win game, a must smash spot here. Ohio State minus the 10, minus the 13.5 all day long.
I didn't bet this one, but I would think the same thing. You guys know what I'd probably say on this, especially Big Scott at the top of the chat. He'll love this. But what about Ohio State first half? Get it under a touchdown, get in early, get it out. Why not, right? It's going to be such a blowout. I think they get ahead early. I like it, and I might have to join it. Shout out to our guy Nuke Worker in the chat, man. He said, "Good morning, fellas." He's on Illinois plus 2.5 and Colorado minus 2.5 so far. Good to see you in here, Nuke. It sounds like a Razor's gambler's first glance because of the way the line's moving. Hey, I tell you what, I try and bring you guys, the best every weekend. I asked Razor, he might be here. He said he might have a chance to come in and drop one play maybe for you guys. So shout out to our guy Razor. But yeah, our guy Mike on the over in this game. I saw a couple people say they like the over. More people on the Buckeyes, only one person Indiana, and a couple people like the over. How about you, Moose? What do you like?
All right. The year was 1988. Excuse me. The year was 1988. Yeah. The number one song in America was Faith by George Michael. Cheers was the #1 show on television. Rain Man was the top grossing movie, and it's the last time that Indiana beat Ohio State.
And Barry Sanders was a Heisman Trophy winner.
And I wasn't alive.
So, I mean, since 2011, though, Indiana has gone 9-4 at ATS against Ohio State. So even though they've been beat, they have covered the number. There's also some news about Ohio State. One time did kind of allude to this. They are now out. Their starting center, Seth McLaughlin. He is out the rest of the year, and that is another one of the string of O-line injuries that Ohio State has had to deal with. Over the last 4 of the 5 weeks, Ohio State has graded below average to poor in run blocking. Pass blocking has also been an issue at times, but this is kind of where it starts to switch. You see that Ryan Day has had some struggles early on in games. I mean, you can look back at a lot of games in his coaching career at Ohio State. There is, there is a tendency that they get off to slow starts. And one of the things that Curt Cignetti has had as a staple to almost every one of his games is that Indiana, or at least Curt Cignetti, gets off to very good starts. I'm not sure that happens here. Ohio State has 5 stars up and down the roster. One of the things I've talked about with Indiana is they do not have the better team in terms of like the athletes that are on that roster when they have gone up against a lot of these opponents. But they play a much better team style of football. They do all the little things that you would want a team to do. They get in themselves into third and manageables. They do not shoot themselves in the foot with penalties. They are productive in the red zone. They are defensive in the red zone. These are all things that you would want a team that is successful to do. But there is one stat point, one data point that when I saw, I was kind of like, this is enough to take me off of Indiana, and it is strength of schedule. Guns already hit this on the head. And the funny thing is you look around, it's kind of like, okay, I found that strength of schedule for Indiana was 96th in the country. Guns said 66. I saw 96. And
yeah, I go by predictive rating. So it basically takes everything and then up, and then it takes everything that they have upcoming. So it's kind of a sliding rule. So maybe that was the original, but I usually I go off team rankings, and team rankings has it ranked 62nd.
Yeah, and team rankings.
Hey, let's answer. Oh, go ahead. I did my bad. Go ahead.
Team rankings, I think, only goes off of FBS opponents. I don't think they include FBS at all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the spreads are different. But when you look at the entire season, and if you look at who Indiana played this first couple of weeks, they were playing some cakewalks, and so they have a schedule that ranks close to 100. The other important thing here is in Guns. I think you said this before we even hopped on air or hopped on live. Is when you have 2 top 5 teams and the spread is in double digits, the team that is favored has covered the number. Like I forget what you said.
I think it was I got this from one of my friends, Brian Power. He was the one that gave it to me. He was like 0-14 or something like that. I mean, and that's ATS too. It's like they win by margin in these spots.
Yeah, when you have 2 top 5 teams and the spread started out at 13 and then got bet down, it's just like, okay, there is something that is happening here, because you're not going to have 2 top 5 teams with a double-digit, almost 2 touchdown point spread for a reason. So that was enough, but I do lean Indiana first half, because Curt Cignetti first half has been unbelievable. Ryan Day has gotten off to slower starts. That would be the only way I could look at this, but this is one of those games I am going to watch it regardless of any action I have. If you guys are able to convince me on something, whether it's some kind of prop bet or if there's a first quarter action, but I really want to see this game. I really want to see Curt Cignetti, and I do want to see Curt Cignetti do well here, just from the personal perspective of I like when good coaches get good wins, and this would be a good coach getting a good win. And shout out to the Hoosiers for signing him to an 8-year extension. Kudos. Great move. Not sure he stays there, but great move. I'm going to stay off here, though.
Let's answer Jim's question, and just we can go into it in depth maybe later if we have more time, but just a yes or no. Let's go across the board here. Okay, I'm yes. If Ohio State loses, they're done. They're not in the
100%.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is they need
Indiana
this
loses this game. They're still in the college football playoff.
That's correct.
100%.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the question
this
would
game
be,
means everything to Ohio State. Like,
if they barely beat Indiana, is there a chalk?
They're still in if they barely beat them.
I don't think that matters. So I think a win's a win, but I think they want to win by margin for resume purposes.
We just don't know how the playoff committee is going to vote with so many teams you can put in there. That's the whole question: is how do they evaluate?
regardless of how we feel about that number 5 ranking, like maybe we think they earned it, maybe you don't. It's still number 5, and beating the number 5 team is beating the number 5 team. So
it's a team that's right now sitting in the college football playoff. So yes,
exactly.
it's a resume game for sure.
I'm seeing names I haven't seen, man. Shout out, let me say it, Drew Sciloso. Did I say that right? Kiloso. Okay, good to see you in here, man. Anybody that's not in the chat that's just listening, come up in the chat, man. ZC33, good to see you. Everybody, Rob rolling in. He told you to stop yelling, Kong. Kong and Nate, man, they don't know how to talk without yelling when they type. If they're going to type something to you, they're yelling it at you. That's just how it goes. But we're close. We're close to the 3-unit bet. Guns, we got one more. We got one more before that. So the only official bet from us is Guns, correct?
I'm on Ohio State all day. I'm on a minus 13.5.
And then you got Indiana first half from.
Let me make sure what I gave it out on Twitter.
Oh, you're just leaning. I got you.
I got the minus 13, minus 110, and I'm going to take it out of minus 10 as well. But you can just mark me down for the minus 13.
I've taken it at 12, 11, 11 and a half. I've taken it a lot. This is a game. I don't care what the line is. I know what this is.
I mean, guys, if Ohio State doesn't cover this game, I mean, I'll take the loss. This is going to hit. I mean, I'm going to say 55 to 60% of the time, every single time. So,
Oh, yeah. Hey, we're already up almost to 200 people. Got over 170 people rocking with us. Keep sharing it. Send it to anybody you know that, gambles or likes college football. Either way, get it out there. Let's grow this thing. I want to do that giveaway on the last show. And it won't be the last show. It'll just be the last show of the regular season. Like this regular thing is coming to an end. But where are we going next, Guns?
Yeah, let's go. I'm wearing the hat for a reason, guys. This is Army versus Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium, and it's the Shamrock Series. And I always take Notre Dame in the Shamrock Series. It is a tale as old as time. It's a Christmas bonus. You always take them in the Shamrock Series. Let me tell you why. 9-1 on the year. We got Notre Dame. Ever since they got punched in the mouth by Northern Illinois, and everybody brings that up to me every time they see them in the college football playoff rankings, they punched everybody in the mouth after that game, and then they're going against an Army team that is 9-0 on the year, untested team, plus 25-point differential, plus 146 net yard average, but Army undefeated. They've faced a weak schedule too. 121st in the country. That's who they face. I think the best team that I could see that they faced on there was North Texas, and that was a low-scoring game. They won 14-3. Then you have Notre Dame. Similar numbers offensively and defensively if you're doing a comparison, because Notre Dame is a plus 27-point differential, plus 139 net yard average on the year, but they accomplished that facing the 32nd toughest schedule. So we have tough schedules once again, making the barometer of why the strength of Notre Dame is so high in this game. Then you have Notre Dame. This is the game that I use as a comparison, of course, is Navy. This line was similar because they were 13.5-point favorites versus Navy, and Notre Dame won that game 51-14, plus 156 net yards in that game. However, plus 6 turnover ratio kind of was the deciding factor in that one. And like I said, this is the Shamrock Series. Look good, feel good, play good. They got the fancy helmets. They got the good uniforms. They're playing on a neutral field. In those games, in the Shamrock Series, since the inception, they're 12-0 straight up, 9-3 ATS, winning by an average of 22.4 points per game in the Shamrock Series. Also, Notre Dame is 5-2 ATS as a double-digit favorite this year. The only two non-covers as a double-digit favorite were MAC teams, unfortunately. They didn't cover against Miami, Ohio, and, of course, they didn't cover against NIU because that was a outright loss. This is also the first time that Army has been a double-digit dog all season long, and the line is larger than it was in the Navy game for Notre Dame. That gives you a high indicator where this game's going. This Freeman knows how to defend against the triple option. Those guys will be having their ears pinned back in the Bronx. Give me Notre Dame minus 14 as the play.
Notre Dame back in his Irish here. Back in the Irish. I didn't bet this one either, man, but when
I bet my team, I cash. Okay, I don't blindly bet them every single week. I know the spots. This is one of the spots, so take it.
I hear that, man. I do. I wish I could say the same. I've lost a couple bets on A&M, but hey, I'm 4-2 on bets I've made on them. So how about that?
Oh yeah, that's good.
I'm positive at least on the season. Hey, our guy in here, like I said, we want to see everyone in the chat, man. And the name gives it away. It's no diss that he's looking for fades because he fades cappers. just gotta say this, man. Obviously, you're new here because you wouldn't have lasted long this season here if you were fading guns or wine time or boots.
If you faded me the last month, you'd be down 26 units, idiot.
Yeah, you'd be broke, bro. But we're glad to have you in here either way. So hey,
I'm just kidding around.
yeah. Well, I mean, you're not kidding. He'd be broke if he was here.
Yeah.
he'd be
Oh yeah.
broke.
No. That I'm not kidding about. I called him an idiot, but I was just busting balls.
I mean, if there's a person to fade, yeah, you're wait for me to talk. All right.
Shit, Moose, you didn't have to do that, bro. Hey, very good. Facts. Hey, the Moose Drive is money, though. The Moose
I love
Drive
that
is
thing,
money, though, man. I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Man, knowledge is knowledge, man. Shout out to Barry. Any thoughts here, Moose, on this one?
It's a very similar opponent as they saw in Northern Illinois. That's kind of the look that I got. And Notre Dame has had some issues with the rush a little bit, nothing much, nothing major. They do rank 10th in EPA per rush, but they are 47th in defensive success rate. Army, the issue that I see with Army is the size of the offensive line. They are not a big group. And Notre Dame on the defensive line, I mean, you're literally going to be looking at what looks like the varsity team versus the JV team. And that would be the concern. But Kanye Udo is a big human being. Bryson Daly is a big human being. Both those guys look like they could literally slot in at the offensive line position if they needed them. I don't really see too much of the under here. I think an over would be a sneaky look here. But this is going to be a team that both of them are going to want to run the ball. I mean, Notre Dame is going to be a team that wants to run the ball if they get up. Army is going to basically run the ball because we all know that's exactly what Army does. I would lean over here. I think that would be my favorite play. But if I wasn't able to get to a number that I felt really confident with, which I did not, I think that Army would be the side I'd want to be on just because I see some similarities between Northern Illinois and Army. And Army is a much better – I think Army is a better version of Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois is a solid MAC team. And I do agree with Kong in the chat that Army is the better team of the service academy or the best team of the service academies. We'll see how that plays out against Navy. I could only lean Army. I could only lean over. I prefer the over Army, but I am not going to the window with either of those.
I tell you what, man, just looking at the chat rolling in, shout out to our guy, Troy Torrance, man. What a comeback he's had in NFL too. Shout out to our guy Core rolling in there. Earl Sports Bets said stopping by before his show. Everybody, make sure you check out Earl Sports Bets. The guys are killing it. He said Irish by 28 right here.
Hey,
thanks
right.
for stopping in, Earl. Troy, just looking at the chat, man, just thinking about what we're building here, this community that we're building. It's such a beautiful thing. There's so many great cappers, so many knowledgeable people to learn from. And thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for showing in and saying something. It's good to see all you guys, man. I love it. Barry said Indiana Army moneyline parlay. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Indiana Army. Okay, I read that wrong. Indiana Army moneyline parlay.
Jesus Christ. What are you doing on 25 to 1? If that hits, you're a genius.
Yeah, there you go, Barry. Take shots, right? Wine time. What about you, man? Anything on this one?
Yeah, man, I think we're looking at this game. We're all looking at this game a little bit different. I mean, talk about two teams that like to run the ball. I mean, Army, what do they like to do? Control the time of possession. They like to burn this clock and run that ball. No one's been able to really stop them. Notre Dame, on the other hand, they got a really good defense over there. But I do think Army's going to take a lot of time off the clock. They're going to control the time of possession. But I think Notre Dame's going to be able to score. I mean, I don't know. I have a lean towards Notre Dame and the under. I was very close on moving on the under because I think this is going to be a very slow-paced game. Run the ball methodically, play some good defense in the red zone, stop them in the red zone, hold them to field goals, stop them from converting on 3rd and 4th down. That being said, really close to the under. I have a lean towards Notre Dame as well. I mean, I think that's the sharper side in this one. If I'm going to look at the market and all that, about 52% of bets, 56% of the money. This line opened up at about a 12.5. It's up to a 14.5 right now. Notre Dame needs this game to get in the college football playoff. I mean, Army, they did too. They went out, they're pretty much in, which is crazy to think about. This is going to be a good game to watch for sure. I think this is going to be a boring matchup though, for sure. And I think this is going to go under 40 points. I'm most likely going to move on the under, but nothing official yet.
Okay, so no official bet with the under. What about you, Moose? Are you official with the over or not yet?
No, absolutely not. No, just like Wine Time said, I mean, the fact that I do expect a running game and Army, if they are, I would imagine the Army game plan here is to absolutely control the clock. But Notre Dame is I early even pointed out, there have been some games where Army has given up points. And if they are chasing, I would imagine that they're going to have to try to pick up the pace a little bit, but the likelihood of them actually doing something like that is pretty low in my opinion. So I'm nowhere close to getting to the window with that.
Man, I told you guys, we don't just come up here and, agree on everything. You heard somebody who likes the over, somebody who likes the under, somebody who likes Notre Dame, and somebody who likes Army. It is what it is. Sometimes we agree. Sometimes we don't. What we're going to do, though, is give you guys our honest opinions, and that is what it is. Personally, I'd rather hear that than have people agree all the time. But that's because I make my own decisions. I'm not somebody who's just looking to tail. I know it can be confusing for somebody who wants to tail, and if that is you, well, maybe just pick another game. It's that easy. Maybe pick one of the ones we do all agree on, because this one ain't it. I'm off. I'm off the game all around. And honestly, I don't have a lean towards the total where you guys were talking. I really don't. Probably go with Notre Dame just because, this is tough for me. I'm off this one. But what I am excited to hear about, and I know Old E is too, man. He said, "What up, you filthy animals? Good to see you, Old E." Getting in that holiday spirit right there. I'm excited for this next one, because it's a big one for our guy Guns. Can you tell me what it is one more time, Guns? And I'll put this graphic up.
All right, drum roll, please. We're going to Lafayette, baby. Cajun Field. Troy versus Louisiana. That's right. This is the big play. This is my favorite bet of the week. And you got a Louisiana team that is 8-2 on the year. Awful loss, by the way, to South Alabama. They're plus 12-point differential, plus 116 net yard average, and they're going against a Troy team that is coming off highs of highs, coming off back-to-back wins, 3-7 on the year with a minus 4-point differential, minus 10 net yard average. When you look at Troy games, they're a better home team than they are a road team. When they're on the road, they're 1-4 straight up, minus 10-point differential, minus 70 net yard average. And you got a Louisiana team that is run-oriented. They average 5.4 yards per carry. That's 12th in the country, 24th in rushing yards per game as well. And Troy is showing some vulnerability against the run. They've allowed 4.7 yards per carry to opponents. That's 93rd in the country and 79th in the country in opponent rush yards per game. And Troy has struggled scoring as well. That team can't even put up points. They're 99th in the country in offensive scoring, putting up 21.8 points per game, but they give up 28.7 points per game, which ranks them 82nd in the country. Louisiana, the one thing they can do, they can put up points. They're 25th in the country in offensive scoring, putting up 33.2 points per game and 37 points per game at home. This is a revenge factor. 2x revenge for that matter. You talking about a pound of flesh game. They lost to Troy last season, 31-24, 16-point road dogs. Now they're -8 right now. So huge line shift from game A to game B. And of course, you got Louisiana, like I said, awful loss to South Alabama. When Louisiana comes off a loss, they're 6-1 ATS off a loss dating back to last season. And of course, Troy is 1-3 ATS as a dog this season, losing by an average of 18.8 points per game. This is a slam spot for the Raging Cajuns. They're a good conference team. They can run the ball versus a bad conference opponent who struggles stopping the run and scoring. You got the revenge angle. You got the line swing. All boxes checked. This is my 3-unit banger of the week. Give me Louisiana -8 as my best bet.
3% right here. Man, I love hearing that. I love a 3-unit play coming up. I tell you what, I'll throw something on it. Maybe like $50-100, which, isn't necessarily a huge bet for me, but I got to. You haven't given out a 3-unit play. Wait, you did one. You did one on here.
I gave out Baylor last week, but that was to clients. This one is for the people now. I'm giving it to the people.
For the people. There we go. So, yeah, I got to throw something on it, man. Shout out to our guy 3 a.m. showing up in the chat. Rogue Energy, good to see you. He's got Sam Houston plus 5.5, Auburn money line, Western Kentucky money line. You're on Western.
I like all of those.
Yeah, there you go. You're right in line with our guy Guns. Exactly showing up in the chat. Thomas said, "Oh boy, mid majors. Let's go." Hey, for the 3-unit play, I wouldn't expect anything else from our guy Guns, man.
Listen, there is not a capper that knows Conference USA and the Sun Belt better than this guy. This is what I do. I make money off of these. You talking about everybody wants to bet on Saturday? I make the money on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm 7-2 already this week. I'm almost up 10 units this week, and we haven't hit the Saturday slate. Don't question me. I am Mr. Mid-Major. I am the Sun Belt.
Yeah, I
Hey,
am.
that is nothing but facts there. My guy Guns, man, he comes in here every week and breaks down this conference, man, and it hits him over the head every single time. You look at the amount of bets on these game guys, it's like 4,000 to 8,000. The other games are like 50,000 to 100,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you got to have an edge on these games. Most of these people betting these games are people that go to these schools and sharps. And I mean, Guns is as sharp as it gets. So you got to listen to him when it comes to this. I'm definitely going to tail him on this play because I didn't even really cap this game that much, but I'm going to back my guy Guns on this one.
There you go. There you go. We got our right at our 200 mark here today. Let's see if we can hit that 250, guys. Keep it pushing to that 250. We're gonna do something next show for you guys in the chat. But thank you guys, man. Thank you guys. Hit the like button, share it. Let's keep pushing. Moose, anything here?
I kind of really like this team total. I mean, I'd really look at it. I mean, I'm not going to try to glaze too hard on Guns over here, glazing Guns. But that team total at 30.5. I mean, I'd be surprised if we don't see Louisiana score 35 in this game. I am concerned about the side, just because you saw it open up at about 11.5, and it has dropped down all the way to an 8. So that is a little concerning with money and tickets coming in on Louisiana. But I do think the team total here, man, I really like it because you're looking at a Troy defense that ranks 115th in EPA per rush, 109th in EPA per dropback, 103rd in rushing defensive success rate, and 73rd in defensive success rate against the pass, against the Louisiana offense that ranks 35th in rush, EPA, 18th in EPA per dropback, 39th in offensive success rate for the rush, and 11th in dropback success rate. I think the team total here is absolutely going to be on my card, and I think it's going to be on my card here very shortly. I'm going to get to the window, so if you see me leave screen, just know that I'm going to my bookie in the kitchen here.
I agree with that one too. Yeah,
You got to make that phone call, right, Moose?
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you got it right there, guys. We got a Western Kentucky money line, Ohio State ATS, Notre Dame ATS, and then ULL 3-unit ATS for our guy Guns picks. Lines move all over the place. That's why I'm going to say ATS because we just obviously.
I've been on the wrong side of lines all year, and it hasn't mattered. It just hasn't. Like, oh, good. You get okay. The line went down on Ohio State. Guess what? I took it again. Thank you for the value.
There you go. Yeah, thank you for the value. Thank you for the Guns, man. I know we got another week, but I can't say it enough, man. Thank you. It's been a blast this year doing this with you.
Hell yeah.
We got more coming, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
College basketball, Guns and I will be rocking together. But again, thank you, Guns. Show some love to our guy Guns in the chat. He's been helping make you guys money all year. Any last words for everyone, Guns?
Yeah, I'm going to do a show Saturday mornings with Guns picks at 11 a.m. And I'm going to talk about the top 25, guys. I'm sorry. It ain't going to be mid-major Guns, but you can go check us out there. I'll break down every single game. I'll give you my opinions, whether I have a play or not. Go check it out on the Guns Picks channel and just follow me on all social media platforms at Guns Picks, GUNZPICKS on Instagram, TikTok, and X. Let's just have ourselves a damn Saturday. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the board. And as always, let's keep dancing.
Hell yeah, man. Shout out again to our guy Guns. Wine time. I noticed it's already about that 45 mark. So we got to get rolling with yours probably. You can rapid fire them too if you want, or just tell me when you got to go. But what do you want to look at first?
So we got some quick breakdowns right here, guys. We're going to go right to Tempe, Arizona. I love this game right here, guys. BYU at ASU. We're going to Tempe, man. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this guy, Kenny Dillingham, man. This guy right here is the future college football, man. This guy is a coach, just has everything you want in a coach. He's a young guy. He can relate to these kids easily. He demands excellence out of them. He demands respect out of them at the same time, though. You watch this guy in his press conferences and all of his interviews, man, this guy says nothing but the right things about his team. He's from the Tempe area. He went to high school out there, guys. Not a lot of people know this, but he was a linebackers coach for a high school football team like 6 years ago. Now he's the head coach for ASU. I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago, but now he's the head coach at ASU, man. This guy's been around so many good minds in the game of college football. You name the mind, and he's been around him. All these good minds, Dan Lanning, Will Stein, all these guys, or not Will Stein, he came in after him, but Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart, all these guys, man. These guys have Nick Saban, all these guys have gotten into this guy's head, and he's taken a little bit of each coach and has installed that into his program. We saw them when they faced Utah. He said he wants to have a program like Utah, like that Kenny Dillingham has built, or that Kyle Whittingham has built over there. It's just something more than football, and it's also a winning program, a winning culture for the community. Guys, there isn't a ticket that will be sold today for less than $400 for an Arizona State game, guys. USC UCLA game is about $200 today, and I'm not going to that because I think that's too expensive to go see at the Rose Bowl. But with that being said, man, this is going to be a good matchup. You know, Arizona State, man, they've got the playmakers. They bring in this guy, Sam Levitt, you know, the Michigan State guy. He's a young guy. This guy's rising on every NFL draft board right now for the upcoming years. This guy's got all the tools to be successful. He's got a good arm. What does Kenny Dillingham like to do? He likes to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers. They've got a really good running back over there in Cam Scatterbo. Me and Moose have talked about him. You know, this guy doesn't like to go down, man. He wants you to tackle him, and he's going to put his shoulder into you every single time. This guy isn't afraid to get tackled 25, 30 times in a game, and they're going to put the ball in his hands, whether it's a pass, whether it's a carry. They've got the playmakers around. You just got to get the playmaker in the ball in the playmaker's hands, and they're going to do what they do with it. ASU, their defense has improved as well. BYU, man, you know, coming off a big loss to Kansas, you know, a close matchup, a really good game over there, man. You know, we were on Kansas in that spot, but it was never a clear-cut win. It was a tough matchup. You know, Kansas got lucky on a couple flags that went their way, as I said they would. This matchup, though, man, I just think BYU the rest of the season, man, I'm not sure if this team, they had some really low expectations going into this season, had a really good start. Kind of last few games looked a little suspect out there. You know, we saw them lose to a Kansas team that's definitely improving over there. And this is an Arizona State team that wants to go all the way, guys. They want to win a national championship this year. They want to win the Big 12 championship. They want to go to the national championship, at least go to the playoffs and make a name for themselves. In year two for Kenny Dillingham? Like, what? This guy's insane. This guy went 3-9 last year, and he's turned this program completely around, man. Love everything he's doing over there. I'm on ASU, guys. I'm on the -3. It's at a 3.5 now. I'm not going to take the 3.5, but I definitely think they win this game by probably 6 points, 6 to 7 points in this matchup. I think ASU is going to. I think this is a big matchup for them, man. They want to go all the way, and this team is built to go to the Big 12 championship and probably win it. For them to win the Big 12 championship, guys, plus 350. You got in on it yesterday. So they got to win this game first. And I believe whoever they face in that Big 12 title game, they're going to take care of business there. They're going to be the most motivated team due to their coach. Give me ASU all day here.
Our guy Justin said, how do I end up on the opposite side of wine time? Yo, ASU and national championships, not something I thought I'd hear. Definitely not this year. And the same breath of a sentence. Interesting here, though. I mean, yeah, the Big 12 shaking out the way it's supposed to.
They just got to win out. I think only one Big 12 team will most likely get in this year, and it'll be the winner of the Big 12 title game.
Yeah.
They've got to get this win, though. They have to get this win here. And they've had a good strength of schedule as well. So it's going to be interesting. You know, it's a long shot, but I'm just such a Kenny Dillingham guy, man. This guy's got me bought into this program. I love everything he's doing over there.
Moose, thoughts here? And then I'm going to keep rolling for wine time.
Yeah, you know what? Let me be really quick, and then we can come back to this game because I do have a lot to say. I will, excuse me. I will point out that if you look at the Phil Steele college preview book, which I believe is like the gospel in terms of getting a lot of us cappers prepared for the college season, these two are literally back to back in the preview section. I mean, it goes BYU, Arizona State. Both teams that had very low expectations coming into the year. There was expected to be a lot of holes on the ASU roster. Yes, they have some NFL talent. They probably have the better overall talent. But both these teams were supposed to be kind of towards the back end of the Big 12. And now we see them at the front of the Big 12. And I think that's a huge reason because of their coaching. Keilani Sitake is a hell of a coach. And Kenny Dillingham, as Lifetime just pointed out, is a hell of a coach. I do think ASU has the better top-notch players, but BYU plays a very fantastic form of football. They are quicker and they run a much faster tempo in the road, and that's a little teaser to what is going to be coming up because this is a double-up spot to me. So we'll get back to this when we are able to get a little more time, so I can kind of get into the weeds a little bit more, soak in a little bit more, huh?
Yeah, I want to hear it. We got people rolling in, both sides in the chat. This is one of those ones I love seeing what everybody has to say. Our guy, Jose, said, you look lovely today, Moose. He also said that he thinks Auburn looks good. So
those two things don't match up. Yeah.
Yeah. So he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Obviously doesn't know what he's looking at because,
But, I digress. We keep rolling. Wine time. I know you're in a hurry. Any other ones you want to shoot out?
Yeah, shout out to all the BYU fans out there, man. We got someone in the comment. I've gotten hammered by these BYU fans the last couple weeks, guys. Hammered in the comment section. Shout out to you guys over there, man. You guys hate wine time over here, but shout out to the state of Utah. Because I like the state of Utah. I went over there for UCLA Utes game and it was a good time. So shout out to you guys. But
you guys hate wine time over there.
You guys are we're gonna go right to Lake Arrowhead, or not Lake Arrowhead. We're going to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas. Where Kansas is playing their games now while their stadium's under renovations.
Let me find it.
Man, this is a big time game, guys. 12:30 kickoff over here on the West Coast, 3:30 for all you guys over there on the East Coast. Senior day. I guess you can say. I mean, it's not really senior night because it's daytime, but it is a senior day for the Kansas Jayhawks here in this matchup. Jalen Daniels, electric athlete, especially with the ball in his hands. Man, this guy can move really well. He's got good size at 6 foot 220. He's got a decent arm. He needs protection in the pocket to get rid of it. You're not going to see this guy throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. I don't think, especially in this matchup right here. Look at Colorado, man. This team is they're heading in the right direction. It seems like they're hitting on all cylinders right now, man. Shout out to what Coach Prime's doing over there. It seems like every single week they're just coming up with new, they're just still wowing us with these explosive plays that they're making through the air with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Love everything they're doing over there. Man, this is a hostile environment, though, that they're going to be entering here in Kansas. Like I said, it is senior day. The fans are going to be rocking and rolling for this one. There's going to be some Colorado fans that I guarantee they're going to be out there for this one. Devin Neal, man, this guy's probably one of the better running backs, not only in the Big 12, but in the nation. This guy's going to be playing on Sundays here. Next year, he's going to be getting drafted. Leads Kansas all time in rushing yards. So shout out to him, everything he's doing over there. And with that being said, man, I just think, Devin Neal, you got to get this guy the ball. Give him a couple passes in this game, give him the ball 20 to 25 times, hand him off, see what he can do here. Go after this Colorado defense. This Colorado defense has actually been pretty good at stopping the run, though. The last couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Kansas, they have a very strong pass rush, and they have a very good set of corners over there. Two guys, Dotson and Kobe Bryant, man. Kobe Bryant's got some national attention this week, saying that he's excited for the Travis Hunter matchup. Both these guys are going to be playing on Sundays. Both these corners on Kansas will be playing in the NFL. These guys are Big 12 all selections, two of the better cornerbacks in the Big 12. This Kansas team, man, this is one of the teams where I think if this season started over and they had more time to adjust this offense, this team very well could be maybe have one or two losses with the way their roster is. In my opinion, I like the roster they have. I like the defense they have, like these corners. I like the weapons they have on offense. And we're seeing what they're doing against this better competition. We saw them beat Iowa State. We saw them beat BYU in a close matchup. Maybe this is a letdown spot for Kansas. I wanted to see a lot more public money coming in on this Colorado team. We're not seeing that so much right now. We're not even seeing, I don't even believe 60% of the bets, maybe 60% of the bets. I can pull it up on my phone right now. With that being said, I'm on Kansas. I'm on them +3 here, guys. I think they're going to get them outright. I think Kansas is going to compete, go to a bowl game this year. They have the playmakers to beat these guys outright. They need to make these explosive plays on offense that they do hit on occasion. They're going to need to make a couple explosive plays to win this game. That's what you do to beat Colorado. Explosive plays, if you ask me. That's how you beat this team. And how do you stop Colorado? You got to stop their explosive plays, man. You got to stop Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter laughed a little bit and said they're still going to have to double team me. We'll see, man. They're going to put a safety on him, but I don't know. I like Kobe Bryant over there, man. I think he's a really good corner, man. We'll see what he does here. It's going to be a hostile environment here for Colorado entering. Give me Kansas +3. I'm not going to take him on the money line just because I've been burned by Colorado. A game where they should have lost to Baylor. Magic I've never really seen on a football field happened in that game. And that could happen here. They lose by 1 point. 2 points, but I'm going to take the 3 points in my pocket with Kansas. It's down to a 2.5 right now. Give me Kansas here in this spot.
They've been making you money. I get it. They've been there for you. You texted me. You're like, Gab, you got to jump on Kansas last week. It was the right call. So I get it. And I'm the same. I like to roll with the teams that make me money, right? I keep rocking with them. So I get it here. Joseph, yeah, I'm on Ole Miss first half. He was asking in the chat. He was saying somebody give a best bet for the early games. I took Ole Miss first half -6.5. I'll get into it in a bit. I know our guy Kong, who's about to hop up here with us, also is going to talk Ole Miss. Colorado, a lot of speculation here in the Dallas area talking about getting primed to coach the Cowboys. I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people here are talking about it in the Dallas area. They really want him here. Moose, thoughts on this one?
Colorado team total. Kansas's defense, I mean, yes, look, Kobe Bryant has been the corners have been solid at times, but they've also struggled at times. I do think they're absolutely going to have to double team Travis Hunter. The issue with Kansas has been their safeties. I mean, they have not played well, like, at all, and they are allowing a lot of explosive plays down the field. They rank 116th in echo rate, which is essentially big plays into and inside of their territory. And Colorado, that is something they do very, very well. They rank 55th, but they've also had a couple of games where they have not, but more often than not, they are absolutely being explosive. Cab, you watch all the A&M games. I watch all the Colorado games. And one of the things I do want to say, and I believe I'll probably come back to this game to give a little bit more in-depth analysis, is shout out to Warren Sapp. I mean, what an amazing job.
Right, dude. He's getting to these kids, man. He's saying the right things, dude. This guy has done good things for this Colorado program.
Yeah, because when I looked at this team in preseason, I was like, dude, they did nothing to really help their defensive line. Like, they are still going to get run over. They're not going to get any kind of pass rush. And you look at like the Pro Football Focus grades that are given out, you literally see like every single week they're grading better and better and better.
I know, it's crazy. I've been noticing that too. And shout out to Warren Sapp, man. He's doing good things over there at Colorado right now, man.
But Devin Neal is an absolute dude, and I didn't trust Colorado to really stop the Kansas offense, because the big thing here is all of a sudden Jalen Daniels is now running the ball. And that was something they were not doing earlier in the year. I mean, it was funny one time we were joking in our text messages earlier this week about like who saw Jalen Daniels and went like, that's a pocket quarterback right there. That's a pocket passer. Like what was going on with that decision? But it seems like they're finally starting to unlock the offense. There is a huge discrepancy between week 5. The games prior to week 5, Kansas really struggled. But since week 5, they have done much better. The turnovers have gone down. The penalties have gone down. The yardage has gone up. These points have gone up. I don't trust Colorado as a side, but I absolutely trust them to score at least 30 points. So that's what I'm taking. I took Colorado team total over 30.5 with a lot of confidence.
There we go. 2 bets on opposite sides on another game.
I got one more game for you guys, Cab, and then I'm gonna dip out of here. I'm excited for this one, though. I got to talk about this one. You know where we're going, Cab.
And I know you got to hurry, so let me just really quick. Financially Free and Focused, thank you, man. He said he teased BYU plus 9.5 and plus 8.5. Dropped a little $2 dono in there, man. Appreciate you. It's a perfect time to say this. Whether you tail bets or not, if you just like the information and you're showing up in here with us, consider getting that membership. Go green right there. Hit the join button in the description. It helps the channel a lot. I mean, it keeps us up here. We don't sell picks or anything like that. So if you support what we do and want to show that support, that's how you do it. Grab a membership. But let's keep this thing rocking. Star Child, I saw you in there, man. Good to see you in the chat again, man. Let's keep rocking here. What's the next one?
We're going right to Westwood. We're going to Pasadena, the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
This guys, most underrated rivalry in all sports. The only rivalry in sports that's only 12 miles apart. House is divided, marriage is divided, siblings divided, everything, couples divided in this spot here, guys. If you're in the LA area, you know what I'm talking about, man. You're either one of the fans of one of these teams growing up, and I think I'm the right fan of the right team, especially in this game. This game means everything to Coach Foster, man. This guy, takes the running backs coach over at the Raiders. After Chip Kelly's departure, call him up real quick and they ask him to be the head coach. Without a doubt, he says yes. It's his alma mater. He went to school there, he played there, coached there, and started off 1-5 this season, guys. A lot of people were down on this program, as I was, because I wasn't really liking what I was seeing. Yeah, they were covering spreads, but they just weren't really playing the kind of football I thought they were going to play going into the season, especially grabbing an offensive coordinator like Bieniemy. It ended up taking some time. Me and Moose talked about at the beginning of the season. I remember he said this is a very complicated offense for an NFL quarterback, not just for a college quarterback to learn in a couple months. This kid's adapted, and they made a lot of changes on that offensive line to keep him upright, give him a clean pocket to throw. I look for UCLA to cover this game plus 4.5, guys. I'm not going to get too much into this because there's a whole breakdown on it, but UCLA, they're really good against the run. They're going to use Woody Marks here in this spot, even though USC doesn't necessarily like to run the football. They're going to do that more now that they have their starting quarterback, Jaden Maeva, at quarterback for them, the UNLV transfer. Man, I saw so much praise for this kid online. This kid did not look good in that last game. A lot of those passes were going off defenders' helmets into the receivers' hands. He threw a pick 6 in the beginning of the game. His stats very covered up by what the actual line of body work that I saw on tape, at least if you ask me. This kid, I mean, it's this offense is still relatively new. You know, he's only played one game in this offense, and we'll see. But this is a pretty good defense that UCLA's got over here, and they're going to be bringing the heat on him. They've got 4 guys on the defensive side of the football that will be playing in the NFL. They got 2 pass rushers. Jay Toya, I mean, this guy gets triple teamed every single game. Watch out for 93 in the middle, man. This guy is going in the first or second round in this year's draft. There's no one that can guard him one-on-one in college football. They've had to double and triple team him all year long. Watch out for Femi Oladejo on the outside to get some pass rush on this kid, force him into mistakes, especially in the red zone. That's where UCLA likes to take the football away. Been successful at that this year. And, you know, this is going to be, you know, somewhat of a hostile environment, man. It's going to be both sides. You know, both teams are going to, fan bases are going to show out to this one. And shout out to everyone that's going to go to this game. I won't be at this one. I'll be watching in a dark living room in my house by myself, you know, very locked into this game. And I'm really looking forward to this game, guys. UCLA plus 4.5. I'm not going to give them out on the money line. I think they win outright, but you're going to give me 4.5 points. Public's hammering USC as they usually are. All the people out there that love USC, thinking UCLA is their little bro in this matchup. And, you know, they probably have been in the long run, especially when you look at football. But I think this matchup, it's going to be what coach wants it more and which players want to do it for their coach more. One more side note. USC took D'Anton Lynn from UCLA last year. Guy hasn't done much over there at USC. UCLA promotes their defensive line coach who coached the Murphy twins lot too. This guy was with them on draft day to the defensive coordinator, and this guy's done nothing but good things for him. This defense might be better with less talent on the roster than they did last year. With that being said, UCLA plus 4.5. I got to get out of here with that, guys. I got to go on Boston the Sauce. Appreciate you guys as always. Moose, Cab, you know, Guns as well, man. Everyone in the chat. Colin, it's about to come up here and unload a clip for you guys. Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Let's go get that cash.
UCLA, if you had to pick one, I'm gonna put a parlay together with all our cappers today.
UCLA plus 4.5.
Okay. Hell yeah, Wine Time. Much love, man. See you soon. Go kill it with Boston the Sauce, man. Thanks again. Shout out to our guy Wine Time, man. God, I love capping with that guy. I would change the graph. I'll change it for a second because I want to shout out our guy Barry, man. Barry dropped a membership, and I said it just a second ago. You guys don't understand. That helps keep this channel rolling, keeps it, you know, bringing new content to you guys. Thank you, Barry. And I saw our dude Joseph got the membership. Couldn't have gone to a better person, man. I'm glad you got it, Joseph. Think about renewing it when it runs out. Thanks again, guys. Let's keep this thing rolling. You know who we got coming on next. Guys killed it this season. I don't know what else to say. I think he said he was 89 units, close to 100, pushing for 100. We got 2 weeks of the regular season left. And damn it, I think you could still get it. Let's get him up here. Let's get rolling, man. Shout out to our guy. Oh, shit. Let me get the graphic ready. What am I doing? See, I'm sleeping, Kong. Let me get this graphic right. And here we go. Let's bring up our guy, Kong's Clips. Man, we are here, week 13. Kong, what's up, man?
What's up, brother? Dopest intro in the game. Top of the morning, chat. How's everybody doing? Israel Williams, COR clan, super true story. Let's get to the bag, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm feeling it today, man. I'm feeling it. You know, you said it a couple weeks ago. I'm feeling it today. Moose, I kind of brought him right up because he was back there waiting. Did you have anything you wanted? Did you have any bets on that UCLA game? If not, then we'll just keep it rolling.
I'm throwing out the little tidbit that I wanted to cover in the chat, which is the offensive line, which Wine Time did not. You know, sometimes when you have a really ugly part of your family, you kind of keep them out the family photo. And that's what I think was going on with his analysis of UCLA, because he didn't want to talk about the offensive line for UCLA. And that offensive line for UCLA is horrific. I'm not sure USC exactly has like the defensive line to be able to do much there. But that offense was humming along. But man, God, they are holier than the Pope on Sunday. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to be consistent here. That Bieniemy offense is looking better, but you know what an offense needs is it kind of needs the offensive line, and they are not looking good. So I don't really have a side here. I think it's kind of accurately lined to see a lot of money going towards USC here, or a lot of line movement going towards USC. Wine Time also didn't talk about, apparently there was a virus that was going through the USC locker room that was kind of wreaking havoc. You saw some guys doing interviews, just kind of doing that kind of stuff. But I don't really have a play on that. I looked at it. I really wanted to be there with Wine Time on this. Would love to celebrate with my guy. But nah, couldn't get there. Offensive line scares the crap out of me.
For sure. Well, Kong, I know what your bets are. I still got to ask you where we're going first because I like to let you go ahead and line it up. But I align with a lot of them, and I'm ready to get paid this week, man. Where's the first place we're going? What's the first game you want to look at?
All right, so we're gonna go to my overall best bet. Ole Miss at Florida.
Love it, man. I love it. We align on this one perfectly too. But we have not talked about this game yet. I will actually have stuff to weigh in on this one too because I bet it also. But Ole Miss taking on Florida here. You go ahead and kick it off while I find this graphic. There's no way I missed this graphic also.
All good. No graphic needed, brother. Ole Miss travels to the Swamp for a matchup with the Gators. Ole Miss comes in off a huge win over Georgia where their defense held the Dogs to just 10 points, while Dart and company put up 28 points on offense. Florida comes in feeling good after a big win over LSU. This line opened at 9.5 on Sunday and has moved all week, now looking at a 12.5. Hopefully you follow me on X at Kong's Clips. I put this out on Monday at 9.5. I endorsed at 12.5. Best bets, Ole Miss minus 12.5. Full game, Ole Miss first half minus 6.5, and Ole Miss first quarter minus 3.5. I have split it up a little bit. So I've got 2 units on the 9.5 for Ole Miss. I did put 1 unit on the 12.5. I've got 2 units on the first half minus 6.5, and I've got 1 unit on the first quarter minus 3.5.
Damn, you loaded up on this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to write down
Absolutely.
the unit bets for you. I got the bets, though. Anybody who wants to tell the exact units can hear that. But that loaded up here. Look, I'm in the same boat, okay? Florida coming off, beating their rival in LSU. The Swamp was electric, and it would be one thing if Ole Miss didn't have a bye week, if they just beat Georgia and now they're traveling into this hostile environment. But they had a bye week. I just alluded to it. They had a bye week, and I promise you those guys were sitting in the locker room watching that game as a team. They saw Florida. They saw what Florida did. They saw how, the environment was, like I said, electric. I mean, the Swamp was absolutely rocking. They saw that. I think these guys had a chance to mentally prepare, for the hornet's nest that they're stepping into. And Ole Miss is just a better football team, right? Florida got up for that.
Yeah.
Florida's one of those teams that, like, for their record, they're a lot better than their record. I get it, but they're still not Ole Miss status. Ole Miss finally pushed through after that loss to LSU. I thought was it for Ole Miss. I really did, but they came back and beat Georgia. Now they're back in it right here. They can't let down right here. They got to take it to Florida. I'm on the first half. I broke it down with Pete on Tuesday. I got minus 6.5 first half with Ole Miss. If it's 7, even 7.5, I know that's a key number. I still like it if that's what you got to do now. But Ole Miss right here all the way.
You can get that 6.5 right now at ESPN Bet. I checked it before the stream.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sounds like a legal book that supports us. Moose, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I ended up on something I didn't think I'd end up here, and I ended up on the under. That's not exactly something when I was doing my cap, I was kind of just realizing, okay, Ole Miss is getting healthy. Trey Harris is back. They're getting some linemen back. And now you have them coming, Ole Miss coming down the home stretch. They have a game against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl, but that's not any kind of look ahead spot here. You already alluded to the fact that they're coming off of a very perfectly timed bye week. Florida coming off of a huge win, and I still see Florida at the Swamp playing much better defense than they do on the road. The coverage is much better at home than it is on the road. If you look at the grading system that is used by PFF, you will see that the home games are graded about 70 on an average of 70 or higher, so above average. And then the games on the road have been graded about 60 or lower, which is significantly below average. I'm not exactly sure that they're going to really stop Ole Miss. I still think that Ole Miss is probably going to get near or cross the 30-point threshold. But these Ole Miss games in the SEC have been under games. They are 1-5 to the under in conference. Florida is 5-2 to the over, but they do play better defense at home. And they do use a quicker pace, and I totally understand that. Again, this was very surprising, but when you see that 66% of the bets and 59% of the cash was on the over, and the line just kept on dropping, it was one of those bets where it's like, I guess I kind of have to do this because all my stuff is telling me Florida plays better defense at home. Ole Miss plays to the under in conference. So I did take the under here. It's not exactly one of my favorite bets I've ever placed, but I love it enough that I'm going to get to the window. So I got to the window on the under 55.5 for a full unit.
There we go. Multiple looks on this game for you guys. Shout out to our dude, Razor Sharp Picks, coming in the chat, man. Good to see you, Razor. Everybody's stammering. They want an early bet from you, Razor. If you got one, let us know. But we appreciate you being in here, man. Ole Miss, that's what it is. We line up here on this one. Happens to be that way. Robert Franklin on the other side, though. He's on Florida plus 13. Robert, man, good to see you in here. God, I love doing this with you guys, man. We got about 250 people in the chat. We're there.
Ooh, let's go.
Cheers to you guys. Keep hitting that like button. Keep sharing it. Now I guess the number's 300. Now we push for 300, right?
Heyo.
But you guys are the best, man. Thank you. I'll do something for the chat. Just make sure you're here next week. Next week, I'm going to be, it's Texas A&M, Texas. I'm going to be, I'm going to be on a cloud 9 for that game. At least early, I will. And in the evening, you might not want to talk to me. But early, I'm going to be on cloud 9. And I love that we get to start the show with the giveaway for you guys. So thank you, guys. Let's keep moving, though, Kong. What's the next one?
UTEP at Tennessee.
UTEP, Tennessee.
Hit the motherfucking like button. Hit the like button, guys. Stick around to the end of the stream. We're going to put together a parlay like we do on Medicate Monday.
But we're going to actually make sure
best bets. Absolutely. I'm putting it in. I don't care if I don't agree with it, whatnot. We got some great cappers on screen. I mean, I'm there. I didn't cap that UCLA game. It's going to be on the ticket, and I assume Gunn's pick is going to be Louisiana. So I'm there.
Yeah, I didn't ask Guns, but
my best bet.
Yeah, that's his. ULL is his for sure.
Yeah, mine's going to be the first half with Ole Miss -6.5. So write that down, get it ready, hit the like button. UTEP playing Tennessee at Rocky Top. UTEP travels to Rocky Top, where Tennessee looks to bounce back after a loss to Georgia. I'm going to make this short and sweet. Tennessee versus bad teams this season. Chattanooga, 69-3. NC State, 51-10. Kent State, 71-0. I'm laying this big number like I was early in the season with these teams playing bad teams. 41.5 is good money. First quarter -9.5 is good money. Lay it. Tennessee Vols, baby.
Tennessee. You said first quarter, first half, full game?
First quarter, full game.
First quarter, full game. Gotcha. First quarter, full game, Tennessee. And be honest, I don't have much on this one. I think it's great. Tennessee's still at number 11. Some people can disagree with this. Some people agree. I know this is, this stokes a fire in some people, but God, this just shows the difference between the SEC and the other conferences. I'm sorry. But you got to win the Big 12 this year. Like if you're a two-loss team in the Big 12, you ain't shit. You're a two-loss team in the SEC. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that the difference, maybe things will fix itself with the changing of the landscape of college football. But anyways, Moose, anything here? You're muted.
Damn, doesn't it feel good to tell somebody else that, Cab? Doesn't it feel good? Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't really touch these big double-digit spreads. It's not a knock on anybody. I'm not saying that if you do, like you're doing it. I have gotten beat so many times with the double digits and the backdoor covers that I cannot do it anymore. So I just took it out of my arsenal of plays. I have other things that I do now.
You say double digit, like 10 and 41 are equally.
No, I mean, I'm saying like as soon as you hit 10, like I am out the door. Like I'm like, okay, somebody else can play it. I have zero issues with people that do. But that if you're going to get to these kind of games, like there's not much I'm going to be able to give you other than UTEP sucks and Tennessee's really good. So it's probably going to cover.
And angry and still in the playoff picture. Yeah. So I get it. A lot of motivation there. I do get all that. So I like it. Let's keep first quarter full game for our guy Kong on Tennessee. Let's keep this thing moving. Next one.
Army at Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, we're not always going to have the same sides either. We heard a lot of glazing on Notre Dame earlier. I'm excited to hear what we got about this Army side.
Yeah. So apparently I'm on an island here, as I am with Indiana. Everybody all week, it's Notre Dame, it's Ohio State. This line opened up at 16.5 earlier in the week. All the money coming in on Notre Dame. Line drops. It's a razor sharp special. Undefeated Army plays Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium. This is a game I've been waiting for on this season. Don't get me wrong, Notre Dame is good and should win this game. But Army has the number one scoring defense in the country and will give Riley Leonard problems. Army is not Navy. Army is better than Navy. Navy was moving the ball against Notre Dame, but turnovers caused Notre Dame to blow them out. Notre Dame's defense is more susceptible to the run than the pass attack. Long story short, I have this number being too big. 14.5 is too many points in my opinion. Best bet Army plus 14.5.
Hey, look, I'm going to be rooting for you just because I want to see that 20-1 ticket cash. I want to see that 20-1 ticket. I think it would be absolutely.
I think it's dead. I think it's dead, Cab. I'll say it now. I think the ticket's dead. We kind of needed Boise State to take a loss. We'll see.
Hold on. You think that if Army wins this football game and wins out, they don't get into the playoffs?
Oh yeah, if they win this game, they make the playoff. I don't think they win this outright. They could come in here and stun Notre Dame, but odds are against me on this one.
Yeah, okay, I got you, man. AOD, man, always the best vibes. Good to see you in the chat, AOD. Drip, Skylark, good to see you. He said Army goes to war tonight. You know, this is big. This is a big game. Jerry Stacks said, y'all going live for any of the games. And if enough people show that they want to be there, I might be able to do the A&M Auburn game tonight because the UFC is already gone. You know, they ran the UFC at like 3 a.m., crazy times. So if enough people are, interested, we might be able to run the late night games, which would be a blast. So I just got to get with the people up top and check and see what's up. But Kong, you got Army here, plus 14.5. I love it. On the other side of guns. Did you have another one or were those the only three?
Yeah, we got player props and parlays next.
Player props and parlays. Let's get it. And speaking of parlays, Kong already said it, guys. We're going to take one bet from each of the cappers that come on this show. Moose is still going to hit his best bets. Our guy Dutch Boy Fresh is about to come up here. And Dutch has been killing it this year in college football too. So I'm excited to hear what he's got. And then I'll recap my bets also. And we're going to put one bet from each of us together, put a little parlay together, see what we got cooking. Personally, I'm probably going to throw 25 or 30 bucks on it. Not going to be a huge bet, but still be a blast to cash it. I know that. So let's hear those player props and then get the parlay. Go on.
All right. Shedeur Sanders. I've been cashing this. I've been giving it out. 3+ passing touchdowns. Sitting at minus 111. Shedeur Sanders has hit this number in 7 of 10 games this season. I think he continues to move the ball. Personally, I'm on Colorado. I gave it out earlier in the week. I think Colorado knows what they're up against here. I think they know what is at risk. If they lose this game, you got 2 Heisman front runners for the Buffaloes here. And I think they make the difference in this game. And I think Colorado comes out early, establishes dominance, and wins this game. But the player prop I'm on here is Shedeur Sanders 3+ passing touchdowns, minus 111.
The Sanders prop is like for anybody who's not paying attention, it's like Hoover for me. You've been cashing it, right? It's cashing a hell of a lot more than it is, and there's no reason not to keep riding it. I love it.
And when they get to the red zone, they pass in the red zone, and that's a significant amount of their red zone touchdowns. I covered in the Moose Dive. But when they get to the inside the 20, they are passing the ball. Like, they are not really scoring on the ground. They are scoring through the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Chip or Kelly? I can't remember. And shout out to my guy, Kelly. I read your comment about old wounds, man. I'm sorry that happened. Was it Chip or Kelly? I think it was Chip. Army and Indiana, the parlay that you threw in there, both on the money line. little $10 bet. I like it, but it was like plus 2,500, so I like it. What's the next one?
Love it. Let's go back to the Ole Miss game. Trey Harris making his return after, I believe, 4 or 5 weeks sitting on the sideline watching his team do what they do. He was the number 1 receiver in the country when he went out. I was giving this play out every week. I was cashing it at a crazy clip starting in week 1. Trey Harris, longest reception. I don't know if you guys can remember, I was giving this out. The number was at 45. The number was at 41. The number was at 42. This week, Trey Harris's longest reception is 30.5 receiving yards, minus 112. That's a smash spot. I mean, you know what Jackson Dart does. He slings the ball around. He finds his receivers deep down the field. They're looking for explosives. Trey Harris gets one of those balls today, 30.5 yards downfield.
That's a small number for him. I like that. Any more props?
That is all she wrote.
I like both those a lot. Now the thing that's got those units rolling here this season, the 2-unit parlay, and I know a lot of people have cashed with you on this, so shout out. What's the 2-unit parlay today?
2-unit parlay today. So I'm up 81.36 units right now. Trying to hit that 100-unit mark. Playing with house money right now. So I'm firing. If you've seen my X account this week, there is, I believe, 4 2-unit parlays out there.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir. Big day. So for the show purposes, 2-unit parlay number 1, Ole Miss minus 9.5. Tennessee, that is an alt line. Grab that alt line. Tennessee first quarter minus 9.5. Shadur Sanders 3+ passing touchdowns plus 508, 2 units. 2-unit parlay number 2. Ole Miss first half minus 6.5. Tennessee minus 41. Louisville first half team total over 16.5 plus 530. Shout out Moose.
Yeah, love it.
Let me read these back to you really quick. Make sure I got them right. Ole Miss first half, and ATS guys, ATS. Tennessee full game. Louisville team total over 16.5 plus 530.
Yes, sir.
And then the other one, Ole Miss minus 9.5. I read that because it's an alt line. Tennessee first quarter ATS. Sanders 3+ passing touchdowns plus 508.
Yep, you got it.
Beautiful. And real quick, I'll go over the rest too. Ole Miss first quarter, Ole Miss first half, Ole Miss full game, all ATS. Tennessee first quarter, Tennessee full game. Army ATS taking the 14.5. Sanders 3+ passing touchdowns, and then Trey Harris longest reception over 30.5 yards.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a winning ticket to me.
Yeah, that sounds like money to me right there, man. Dude, let me go ahead real quick while we're at this. Before we let you go, Kong, let me go ahead and just recap one time for everybody in the chat because, damn, we got a lot of action. You guys heard me just hit Kong's bets, guns real quick. He gave in and gave us Western Kentucky money line. He gave us Ohio State ATS. He's on the other side with Notre Dame on the Army game. And then his best bet of the day, he said he had 3 units on it or 3% of the bankroll is ULL minus 8.5 or ATS. Wine Time came in. He's on Ohio State. He's also on Arizona State ATS. He's on Kansas ATS, and he's on UCLA, his Bruins ATS. I let Moose recap his, but damn, there's been a lot of action. Kong, any words for the chat before we keep this rolling?
Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys. Show up Saturday mornings, drinking your coffee, getting some breakfast in you. And you get a rundown, man. You get a rundown of just so many games get fired off on this show. And we're winning money. I just told you, I'm up personally 81 some odd units this season. Chip Prylar, Kong's Twitter handle, at Kong's Clips, just like it's spelled, KONGSKLIPS. Thank you, brother. Thanks, everybody, for the support this season. Let's go get to the bag, man. Shout out Jeff Slaughter. Shout out the pub. Shout out all you guys that show up early and often. Let's go make some money on this beautiful Saturday with snow all around. It's a lovely day. Love you guys. Appreciate you for having me. Let's get to it.
Hell yeah, Kong. Shout out to our guy Kong. And let me run that clip one more time. I took him off. I should have hit the clip. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm fumbling right here. Shout out to That is the vibe right there. Speaking of the vibe, you got your favorite view of our next capper on the stair stepper, I think. Moose, I know you loved it first time he came in stepping on these stairs. Shout out one more time to Kong, man, and you guys in the chat. Steve, Chip, Big O said, who's drinking coffee? Vodka, Red Bull here. That's what I like to hear. Tori Coker rolling in. Thomas, Domo, man. Good to see you, Domo, man. All you guys, man, hit that like. We still got over 200 people rocking with us. We got real close to that 250 or hit the 250. Didn't sustain it, but we hit it, man. Thank you guys for that. And we got another guy who's just been killing it, bringing money all year on this show. I don't know the exact record, but I know it's damn close to 60% also. Like, we've got a lot of people that are just firing away and dominating. And this guy, you see me with him every Monday, man. I love Monday. If you don't tune into Monday, you're missing the fuck out. The Sesh Medicaid Monday every week. I'd love to see some of you guys in there that I don't see. It's every Monday, 10 a.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. my time. What is that? Shit, I'm bad. It's 11 a.m. East Coast, 10 a.m. my time, 8 a.m. on the West Side. And he comes up here, brings us winners, even though it's early as fuck. Shout out to my guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. What up, Dutch?
Yeah, man. How we doing, fellas?
Good, man. Good.
Goddamn long-winded intro. You're starting to, take a little, for me, the longest. I'm like, God damn, man, I'm on the treadmill. Wrap that shit up.
Just letting you get your workout in. What are you talking about?
I appreciate the kind words. I got in this bitch about 6:30, so we're wrapping it up. But, nothing gets in the way of getting the sweat in, man. Got the arms, got the core, a little cardio, and we'll hit the sauna. Feel good Saturday. We can't lose. We can't fucking lose. It's a beautiful day. I know Kong's talking about coffee, breakfast, and snow. Well, sun shines out. The leaves are falling. No coffee, no fucking breakfast. This workout is cush up. And then we might get some protein in right after that. But yeah, man, beautiful day. Good to see Moose Money Bets in the building. Every time I see Moose, I just take myself to Diego and just separate myself from the city for just a moment or two. And it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully I can make it out that way soon, and maybe we could put back a cold one together, my guy.
Hey, let me know, man. Anytime.
Yeah. I love your vibe. Absolutely. Good to see you again. Wine time, as always. Good to see my guy. Guns came through. Bringing the energy right off the bat, right, Cap? Great energy from Guns. Cons Clips doing his thing, as always. That intro, man. I love that fucking intro. I need that intro the entire time while I'm on this fucking stair stepper, actually. But let's get to the money, man. Let's get to the motherfucking money. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. All right. This one, kind of a little scary right here. But let's go to Kansas, man. Fuck Kansas. Okay. And fuck everybody who's on Kansas today. That's right. I said it. I don't give a fuck, man. Call me square. I'm gonna take my square ass to the motherfucking window. Colorado Buffs -2.5. It's good money, man. I heard my guy Moose talk about it a little bit. He's on the team total over. I like everything he said. I mean, we're talking Kobe Bryant? Are we talking basketball or are we talking football? This is grass, not hardwood, ladies and gentlemen. And Kobe Bryant is in an awful lot of trouble today, running his mouth, talking about, I can't wait to match up with Travis Hunter. Well, you should be waiting, young man. You should be waiting because he's about to get in that ass. Believe that. Shadir Sanders proving a point. Coach Prime is so high right now. Like, they got the vibes from the 100-year-old lady. I mean, come on, man. You're going to step in that way? You're going to step in that? These boys are out to prove a point. 8-2. Kansas, a big win against BYU. Shout out to our guy Razor, Wine Time, everyone that was on that game. Also had a pretty good win against Iowa State. I think they get hit in the mouth today. Got to control the run. I heard you say big shout out to Warren Sapp. He's done a hell of a job with that defense. Contain the pocket. Don't let him out. Him being Daniels. And Shadur Sanders will continue to do what he's done all year and just fucking beat the shit out of this secondary. I think he throws for 350 easy. This game, I don't think will be as close as everyone thinks. Unless the fugaziness fuckery is involved, then I got to worry about it. But give me the bus minus 2.5. It's good money.
Guys, he agrees with you, man. In the chat, he says Buffs going to the playoffs, and I already know you.
Love it.
Yeah,
And my money's on Coach Prime. My money's on prime time. Believe that.
There we go. I know where you're at too. Moose,
I know you're with me, Moose, too. Scary motherfucker. You just don't want to give it out. You probably got a secret bet on Buffs.
I mean, it's all the fandom. You know, it's just
team.
knowing that my heart's in it, and sometimes that can be enough. It is Kansas playing better offense, but man, I think they score. And yeah, dude, Kobe Bryant talking. Like,
We're getting echo.
Oh, is that? Is it on my end?
I don't hear it.
Dutch Tucks, we don't get it. Only when we talk.
Then it's on Dutch.
All right, well, let's go. So I've already heard my guy Moose's. So we're kind of in the same category. I'm just a little more confident. I think the defense makes enough plays, and realistically, I think they picked their number offensively. So we're pretty much in the same rotation on that. Let's go. Is it LSU Vandy yet, or is it? I got two more plays. I got Auburn, the Auburn game, and A&M, or LSU, wherever you want to go, homeboy.
I know you're not. I'll go. We'll go ahead and go here. But don't get taken off the show now.
You think I'll put my money on Auburn?
No, I don't think so. But I'm around a bunch of people who usually would.
Well, for some reason, they love fading you when you go with your team. They love fading you when you're on the Aggies for some reason. But I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to go under first half 23.5. I think this is one of the sharper looks on the board. All 6 of Auburn's SEC games have not hit this number at half. The most they've scored is 21. And realistically, ladies and gentlemen, they don't get close to this number. Elko is a coach that coaches in the trenches for the A&M. I believe the offensive line will show up a little bit, try to run the ball somewhat, but I think it's going to be pretty hard for both teams to move the ball. This front 7 of Auburn is pretty damn good, and I'm really high on the front 7, especially the D-line of the Aggies. Both teams have a very hard time moving the ball, in my opinion. I think this has a lot reminiscence of the Vandy Auburn game a couple weeks back, where 17-7. I believe 7-7 at halftime. I don't think this game even comes close to 20 at half. Defensive battle, Auburn, better defense. Aggies, better defense. Both sides are impressively on the defensive side. Both teams don't give up more than, or both teams don't allow more than 20 points per game. Under first half 23.5. It's good money.
I like it.
Talk to me, Moose.
When we talk, Moose, we're gonna weigh in on this when he's done. But I definitely want to hear Vandy LSU for Dutch. Dutch, we're echoing. That's why I'm going quick to yours, because it's hard for me to think when I'm echoing.
Am I echoing when I talk, or just when we all talk?
No, only us.
Okay. All right. Well, Moose, hopefully you're in the rotation with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He said, yeah. He's on that under with you. Like I said, we'll hit it here in just a minute.
Run up them likes. Run up them likes, man. Run up them motherfucking likes. I'm up here on this treadmill, fucking giving y'all winners. Or what is this, a stair stepper? Let's go. Come on.
Hey,
and all you motherfuckers hating in the chat. A lot of motherfuckers like to hate in the chat. Like, if you hating in the chat for me working out, that just means you one lazy motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. You know?
I don't think anybody in the chat's hating. I'm not sure.
Oh, I've seen it before. I've seen it. I go, because I don't see the chat now, but they go, oh, Dutch. I'm like, how are you hating on someone working out? You hate on someone getting up at 6:30 in the morning to lift weights. You got a lot of hate in your body, but you know what? It takes hate to be great. And goddamn it, I feel like being great today. So let's go. LSU, Vandy. You see this? My boy, hey, we went out 2 weeks ago. We went out on the limb. I know I even said it. I probably should not be on this 3.5 against South Carolina, because, boy, them Gamecocks are playing good football, man. And they ran all over Vandy. And Vandy got humble. Well, they had 2 weeks to think about it. And we're going right back to the best thing going in Diego Pavia. That's right. Healthy, had 2 weeks. This defense got ran over. Literally got hit in the fucking mouth 2 weeks ago. And the coach let him know about it. It was a complete embarrassment in all 3 phases. This is the first time all year that they got beat like that. They played Auburn. They played Alabama. They played some damn good teams and did not get punked like they did 2 weeks ago. They've had 2 weeks to think about it, 2 weeks to prepare. And let's talk about the other side of the football. That Fugazi-ass Brian Kelly, aka what they call him? BK? Well, that's fitting, motherfucker, because I got beef with you. That talent, all that fucking talent you have, and that's what you put out. Fuck that. I'm fading you. You have no right being a 7.5-point favorite against anyone in the SEC, let alone a Vanderbilt team off an embarrassing loss, a bye, and Diego Pavia. Let's go. Vanderbilt plus 7.5. It's good money.
I love it, man. Nate said Pavia rush yards is on his card. I love it. Like I said, it's hard for me to think whenever.
Shout out to Nasty Nate, man. Well, let me talk real quick and I'll get the fuck out of here because I'm tired. Shout out to Nasty Nate, Mr. Trifecta in the building. Good to see you, my man. Got that orange push pop. I'm about to roll up, coming in at 31%.
Ooh.
Loaded. I'll break it down on the sesh, Medicaid Mondays. And all you real motherfuckers in the chat, come on now. I appreciate everybody showing up here for the tailgate. This is one hell of a show. We get a lot of money here. But Medicaid Mondays, y'all need to transition over there. 8 a.m. right out here on the fresh side. We get to the bag, man. We have profitable days each and every Medicaid Monday. If we lose, it's a highlight. It's like it's literally, if we have a losing show, it's very rare. So razor sharp picks, the whole crew. We need to get Moose Money met. I believe Moose Money is what are you teaching in mornings Mondays?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he does almost unlike us.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got to get his ass. We got to get a sick day or something. You know, we need to call a substitute. We got to get
I'm
Moose
off
Money
this
in.
week.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
You go.
Let's talk some shit. Let's vibe out. That way I can hear you talk without an echo. But hey, man, much love to Dab, my guy Cab. Much love to Moose Money. Much love to everyone that came on the panel and graced us with their bets. Everyone in the chat who vibes out with us, run up them likes, support Pub Sports Radio. Let's go to the motherfucking window. Y'all stay fresh.
Hell yeah, Dutch. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to my guy Dutch. You know, in the chat, where is it? Kevin said it's 10:30. Hey, Kevin, not everybody lives in the same time zone, man. I know that might be a tough concept, but some people live in different time zones. It is 10:30 here where I'm at, but it's definitely 8:30 where he's at on the West Coast. So shout out to my guy Dutch. Thanks for coming in here, Dutch. Everybody in the chat, this is the time. Moose is going to give you guys his bets. And also, if we didn't talk about something you want to hear, ask it in the chat right now. Drop it in the chat so I can star it. This is our Moose dropping section. I want to let Moose get to those questions. I want to add more people to the Moose Dive. Just put an email in the chat. If you want the Moose Dive, all you got to do is give us an email. We're going to link you to it. That's all you got to do. And it's great information week in and week out. So go ahead and start dropping those questions, dropping the thoughts, whatever you want Moose to touch on. And Moose, let's hear those best bets. Here, let me hit mine because it's so quick. Ole Miss first half -6.5. I'm back on the Josh Hoover train. You better believe it. I got 299.5 because I took it early. I think it's 302.5 right now. It's 3 yards. Don't care. Still like it. Yes, I'm back on Josh Hoover with you, Barry. Let's cash. And then, of course, I'm on A&M. I'm on A&M -2.5 against Auburn. I will hit that game one more time before we wrap up. But, Moose, let's hear your best bets and start dropping those questions in the chat, man. Still 200 people rocking with us. It's, you know, we get up there and we stay strong. The numbers stay strong, so we appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, and let's finish this thing strong.
All right, let me go right back to Texas A&M.
Okay, then I'll hit it now. Perfect. Texas, I'll let you go first, and then I'll be quick with it. I won't get on a soapbox here. But A&M,
you'll clean it up for me.
Yeah, down to 1.5 now.
Yeah,
Auburn.
I do get it. I do understand. Auburn in the week before the Iron Bowl has done very well. They are 4-2 straight up ATS over their last 6 years. But A&M does hold the advantage here. 4-2 straight up, 5-1 ATS on the road at Auburn. Going to Jordan O'Hare, they have done very well. But last year, Freeze as a home dog was 2-1 ATS. But this is a lot about who has Auburn played and who has Auburn played well against. And you look at some of the teams that they have done well. They did play well against Kentucky. And I do acknowledge the fact that they have a very good rush defense. They played Missouri. And they played well against Missouri, but Brady Cook missed a significant portion of that game. Georgia did what Georgia does against them, but you look at their last home game before the game against Vanderbilt, which they did lose 7-17, 21-27. An Oklahoma offense that has really struggled this year was able to put up 27 points on them. Arkansas was able to put up 24 points, and that was after a very difficult week against Oklahoma State. So I see a team that has been able to get some good, solid rushing defense numbers against teams that, A, don't really rush the ball all that much and all that well. And I see a team that does very well in terms of limiting opponents. They've only allowed one team to go over 30, but We're talking about an A&M team that absolutely desperately needs this game, and I do not see a situation where Elko holds the playbook close to him. I think he is going to absolutely go for this game, treating it as if it is the last game, so that the last game means more and has significant value. I think this is a very good spot for Texas A&M. This is not a look-ahead spot for me, even though it absolutely sets up as a look-ahead spot, because they need this game to be in the playoffs. If this game doesn't happen, next week's game is only going to be for bragging rights. Make next week be about more than just bragging rights. So I like A&M here. The line has moved against us because I know that you're on this too. I texted you immediately on Sunday saying, hey, am I reading this right? Am I seeing A&M under a field goal here? I get it more now after doing the dive, but I still am going to stand by what I got to the window with. A&M, I took them at 2.5. You can now get a money line. You can now get a -1.5. I understand the Auburn love. I totally do. Respect to everybody that's on that. Cash and tickets on A&M, money, the line is moved towards Auburn, but this is A&M to me. We're talking about an A&M team versus an Auburn team. Peyton Thorne is not going to be a guy that A&M is not ready for. I could see points early to counter Dutch's kind of play. A&M has had some issues early in half allowing points, but they really lock it down. I will take A&M. Get me to the window with Aggies -2.5.
Hit our guy Gorge on first. He said he's got Colorado money line in Ohio State by 13+. Dropping a $2 dono, man, which he drops those all the time. And like I say, it adds up, man. We appreciate you. Thank you to all the members. Thank you to the donations that have come on. We're never going to sell you picks here. We're just going to tell you what we're betting, why we're betting it. So if that's something you fuck with, if you fuck with us, show some support. We appreciate it. Thank you to the members. Thank you to the donos. A&M now at -1. Kelly, is it going to keep going? I don't know. Really, it don't matter to me, though. As soon as I saw the line at 2.5, I knew there were a couple things that I knew for a fact. I knew for a fact and I'll put it in quotes, quote, sharp capper was going to be on Auburn. No matter what, there were even people who don't even watch, right? These are just market analysis people. I knew everybody who's a sharp, quote unquote, sharp capper would be on Auburn. I knew the money would probably, the public would be on A&M, and the line would probably drop. All the things that I thought would happen are happening in this game. Doesn't really change it for me. A&M's got to win. Does that mean they win this game? No. I mean, I've been around long enough to know A&M likes to lose games that they're supposed to win or that they need to win. But we're talking about Mike Elko. It's a new era, right? It's a new coach. Let's see what he can do with these boys. There were 25 missed tackles against South Carolina for A&M. 25 missed tackles. The majority of those tackles were missed in the backfield because they were arm tackling backs that were too big to arm tackle. They will not make that mistake again. Peyton Thorne also isn't too big to arm tackle, even if they are making that mistake. I don't think Auburn is going to be able to put up more than 14 points in this game. Really, I don't. It might be an ugly football game. I'm not sitting here saying A&M is going to win this by 28 points. No, I'm not saying that. Shit, this could be a 9-3 football game. I've seen A&M and Auburn play a 9-3 football game. I know that sounds like a very weird score, but it happened, not long ago. It could be ugly, but I still think A&M wins. I got the Aggies here. That's where I'm at. Drop those questions, guys. Let me get off my A&M rant. Drop those questions in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Questions for Moose, and let's keep rocking, Moose. What's the next one?
And last thing is I do think the line has been adjusted because of the Le'Veon Moss issue and the fact that you now have Jacuz Hunter as the best running back on the field. But Amari Daniels is no joke. Like, he is also legit. So
here's another thing, too. Daniels is no joke, and people don't understand how decimated A&M. Le'Veon Moss was not A&M's #1 running back, okay? He was when he got hurt, but he was not the #1 running back coming into the season. It was Reuben Owens, and Reuben Owens has finally been upgraded to questionable, I think, finally. I don't think Reuben Owens sees the field here against Auburn, but he's teed up and lined up to come back against Texas, and that's huge for A&M, just absolutely huge for them. But they got to get by Auburn first. The Le'Veon Moss information sucks, but Reuben Owens coming back is even bigger. So there we go. Next one, Moose.
Let's go to, already covered that one. Let's do BYU and Arizona State.
Back to BYU, Arizona State. And I think we're going to hear a different side here. Our guy Wine Time was on Arizona State here, -3.5. You're on the other side, right, Moose? Tell us why.
I'm not on the other side. I like the total here.
Okay.
So I think that both these teams approach 30, and the total was bet lower than I thought it was going to be, or was set lower than I thought it was going to be. But I'd be surprised if neither of the teams cross the 30-point mark. BYU typically runs a faster pace on the road than they do at home, and Arizona State ranks 55th in plays per game. While last week's game really hurt BYU, it hasn't officially derailed them. They still have their opportunities. They may not be playoffs, but they still have some Big 12 conference championships in mind. But Sataki is a hell of a coach, and I'm confident he's going to get his Mormons ready for this. But I also expect Scatabo to have a huge game here against an ASU for an ASU offense that has been very, very good at home. 5 of BYU's last 6 games have gone over the total. ASU has gone over in 2 of their last 3, and 3 of their 5 home games have gone over the total. For both of these teams, the first half has seen quite a bit of points. On the road for BYU, there have been 4 first half overs. At home for ASU, there have been 4 first half overs. This is a double up spot for me. I took first half over and I took full game over. And I think that this is not necessarily a bounce back for BYU, but I do see the offense kind of going back to what we saw earlier in the year. Yes, they had a struggle against Utah. Yes, they had some plays that didn't go their way against Kansas. But going on the road where they have some motivation to play well in front of maybe some of their future wives, since they like to kind of stack them up like playing cards. But I think this is an over spot for me. It was over 48.5, and I also took the first half over 23.5, both under the crucial numbers. And I feel good about the over here. I really like it. Double up spot.
Double up spot for Moose. Is this going to be the best bet? Because I'm throwing together a parlay. Is the over in this one going to be your best bet?
No, this is not.
Okay. Not your best bet yet. Gotcha. Like I said, guys, I'm going to throw together that parlay for the show. We should have been doing it all year. Shout out to Kong. That was his idea. But I'll put it together right at the end. Pipe Layer said, love the work today, guys. I appreciate all the effort and the hard work to help get us paid, man. I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you being in here and showing the love. It goes a long ways, man. So thank you. Thank you guys in the chat. If you haven't hit the like yet already, go ahead and do that. We got a couple more games for Moose. He's going to hit your props. I'm going to recap all the bets. Then I'm going to give you guys the tailgate parlay, which we should have been doing all year, but we're going to get paid on it today. And then we'll go watch football. We'll go watch football and get paid. Moose, what's the next one?
Let's go to the Mega Moose play. Pitt at Louisville.
Boom.
All right. This is my Mega
here.
This is my Mega Moose play. I am absolutely on Louisville here. I am on them full game. I am on them first half. I'm on the team total full game. I'm on the team total first half, all full unit plays. This is a fade of Pitt on the road where they have really, really struggled defensively. When you get Pitt at home, they are significantly better than when they are on the road. The offense for Pitt has generally been much better on the road than they have been at home, which is, somewhat surprising to me because, crowd noise and all that kind of stuff. But they are dealing with some quarterback issues. Yet Nate Yarnell played much better than Eli Holstein has, but they still have not declared who is starting, or at least they didn't declare earlier in the week when I was checking on Wednesday, Thursday. They may have done so recently. I just have not checked all that recently because once my play was made, I was kind of going off the idea of I could care less if it's Holstein or Yarnell. Louisville has really started to kind of play better football, and I see them coming down the stretch. This is senior day for the Louisville Cardinal, and they have scored better at home than they have on the road. At home, Louisville averages 38 points, and Pitt on the road averages 38, or allows opponents an average of 33 points. In the first half, you also have the exact same situation where Louisville averages about 22 points, and Pitt gives up an average of 28 points. So this is something where I was kind of like, okay, I really didn't like Louisville for much of this year, but they're playing better football. Tyler Shaw should be able to destroy this secondary that has played very poorly on the road. When you get Pitt at home, that secondary closes up. But when you get them on the road, they have been very, very poor. And yes, Louisville, Jeff Brom has been really poor ATS in conference. Narduzzi has been very good in conference. A lot of the trends do favor Pitt here, but I just see Louisville over and over and over again. If you want to be on a Shao player prop, by all means, it was at 280. I couldn't get to there with all the action I got here. You want to go Ja'Cory Brooks, love it. Couldn't get there. It was at 90.5. But I really like Louisville here. This is my smash spot. This is my best bet. You can take them first half. You can take them full game. You can take team totals. I love all of them. I even told Kongs about the 16.5 for the first half. That's where he jumped on. That's probably my favorite look here is the first half team total over for Louisville. But hey, team total over 32.5 full game. Love that too. All of it. Give me Louisville. Give me the Cardinals.
Beautiful, man. So Louisville, your best bet. So now we got a big one, guys. And I was just trying to put it in, but we only got 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. Louisville, I'm going to go full game for you, ATS. Moose for the the parlay here, for the tailgate parlay. So Louisville, full game ATS. You got ULL. First, wait, why did I write first? It ain't first half. No, you got ULL, full game. So Louisville, full game. ULL, full game. You got Ole Miss first half. You got UCLA full game, and you've got A&M full game. Shout out to our guy Dutch. I didn't get a best bet from him.
Give him Colorado.
Colorado. Okay, we'll throw Colorado in there. And I'm going to have to put this together in 2 seconds. We got to get it up before kick. Okay, one more time. Louisville full game ATS, ULL full game ATS, Ole Miss first half ATS, UCLA full game ATS, A&M full game ATS, and then Colorado full game ATS. That is a tailgate parlay. Guys, be smart with it. That's a fucking loaded parlay. That is a long shot. Not saying we're not going to cash. I mean, I know my bets in it are going to cash. But bet appropriately. Moose, do you have anything else that you want to? Of course you do. But do you have any other games that you want me to highlight before you hit prop?
I got two more. I'll go through them quickly. I am on the other side of. Unfortunately, I am going up against two of the best college football handicappers around in Razor and Wine Time. I am on UNC going up against Boston College. The line has moved against me with tickets and cash coming in on UNC. It's essentially the Razor special. But I see something that I just feel like, all right, yes, Boston College looked a little bit better with Castellanos out because they were able to run more of what they tried to do offensively with the pro-style offense under Bill O'Brien. But you know who has seen a lot of the pro-style offense in his career? Mac Brown. Mac Brown, later in the year, for whatever reason, he has a tendency to really pick it up later in the season. And I just see Mac Brown being have a better team than Boston College. The Castellanos issue is still getting talked about. Like in the local reports, you are still hearing players being asked about what happened with Castellanos, whether it was the ACL injury that forced him out or if he was quitting beforehand. Because there was some debate about if he quit and then went out and played and got injured, or if he got injured and then quit. So there's been a lot of that discussion going on. The media reports are something I'm really trying to dive into here into the later part of the year. And those are really pushing me towards the UNC side. Omarion Hampton is an absolute dude. Boston College has struggled to give up some points or has struggled to prevent teams scoring points. UNC's offense has really been clicking recently. So I took UNC as a side, and I also took the North Carolina team total over 29.5 at plus 120. I did not put it into the dive, but it was one of the first bets I made earlier in the week. And I just kind of waited for that team total to get to a point where it was bettable. It got there. And so I am on UNC here. Not loving that I'm going against two of my favorite cappers, two of the best cappers out there, but I got to rock with what I got. You got to rock with the cock out. So give me the Tar Heels as the side at minus 2.5. I'm sorry, minus 3. I took them way too early in the week. And then I took the team total over 29.5.
Rock out with the cock out, hang out with the wang out. I get it, man. You gotta go what you gotta go with. I'm in the same boat. Happens a lot. Man. Shout out to Kelly in the chat, man. Much love, Kelly. Much love, my dude. I'm ready to burn one. I know you've been burning this whole time. I'm ready to burn one after this show. Any questions for Moose? Drop them, guys. There's so many comments, which I love. That's exactly what we want. I might miss it, so make sure that we see it. Put it in the chat. Moose, what's the last one?
Texas Tech, Oklahoma State.
Okay, good. One we haven't talked about too. Love it. My alma mater. That's how you say that word. That's a weird word.
Alma mater.
Alma mater. Alma mater. Alma mater. The fuck do you say it? Texas Tech. Here we go. I should have this graphic, but maybe. Yeah, there it is. Go for it.
I'm taking Texas Tech first half, and that's I don't have an issue with going full game, but Texas Tech has allowed some teams to come back in the second half. You can just look at their game against Colorado, but Oklahoma State is just, oh my gosh. I mean, there's some teams that have been hot messes this year, but Oklahoma State is hot garbage, hot mess. I mean, they are all over the place. It is very difficult for me to believe that Mike Gundy is going to be coming back with everything that has happened this year, but I still wouldn't be shocked. I mean, there are people that are coaching in college football that you were just like, how the hell do you have a job in college athletics? But I digress. I really like Texas Tech first half. The Oklahoma State's defense has been boo-boo in both against the pass and the rush. If you remember the game against Arkansas, when Arkansas just came out and just smacked them right in the face, Nardo, their defensive coordinator, has not lived up to what they expected from him. They thought they were getting a guy from the FCS that would be able to transition well into the FBS, and Oklahoma State ranks as one of the worst defenses in the country. Texas Tech is one of the best offenses in the country. They are able to throw the ball. They are able to run the ball. They have a better offensive line. The defensive line for Oklahoma State has some guys. And really the most surprising thing has been Ollie Gordon looking at his draft stock just plummet. And I feel bad for him because we expected him to be in a really good situation there. Gundy has had success with running backs in the past. He's had offenses that have looked very good, but this offense has been horrific. And I could see Oklahoma State playing, for something down the stretch, but with all the chaos going there, with everything that's happened this year, it just feels like Oklahoma State's trying to turn the page, trying to get to next season. If that's with Gundy or without, it just feels like they're kind of, maybe their big look ahead spot is next week against Colorado. They really want to play spoiler, but I don't see it here. I think Texas Tech gets out early. I think they get out early big. Texas Tech first half, and I took that -3. Muted.
I don't like Mike Gundy. He needs to go, in my opinion. I couldn't agree more. I also couldn't agree more with our guy Big O. He said PSR tailgate greater than college game day. That's love right there, man. Much love. That's the last side from Moose. Did you have props also?
I don't. I didn't find one that I was kind of like, oh, I really like this. The ones I looked at with Tyler Shaw and Ja'Cory Brooks for Louisville, those are the only ones I really looked at, and I think they are playable. And if I didn't have as much action in that game as I currently do, I'd probably throw some half units at it. But when I have already 4 units wrapped up in one game, it was kind of like, yeah, this number's a little too large for me. If it was probably 15 yards lower on each end, I'd absolutely be on it. Cam Scatabo rushing yards would be interesting to me, but I picked the sides that I stuck with, the totals I stuck with. Didn't really get to a player prop, but if there's something out there that you're curious about, you want me to double check, you want me to check on, absolutely drop it in the chat. I can give you a quick little analysis before we get out of here.
For sure. And now is the time to drop it. Again, I feel like I might have missed some because there's so much action in the chat, which is what I love, man. I love seeing that in there. So thank you guys for showing up in the chat. Kelly dropped his NBA play. He said NBA play needed. Rockets -12.5 at home. Damn, that's a number. But, Rockets have been covering. Here we go. We got a couple questions coming in. But real quick, let's recap our bets. Moose, I'll let you do yours when I get to the end. But let me hit this, man. Guns, Western Kentucky, money line, Ohio State, ATS, Notre Dame, ATS. He has a 3-unit best bet on ULL, -8.5 for ATS. Shout out to Guns. Then we got Wine Time. He is also on Ohio State ATS. He's on Arizona State ATS. He's on Kansas ATS, and he's on UCLA ATS. Shout out to our guy Wine Time. Kongs comes in, unloads a clip like always. Ole Miss first quarter, first half, and full game. Tennessee first quarter and full game. Army 18.5. It's +14.5. And then his props are Shedeur Sanders, 3+ passing touchdowns, and Trey Harris, longest reception over 30.5. I think that 30.5 is a steal. And he gave you guys 2 parlays here, both 2-unit parlays. Ole Miss -9.5. That's an alt spread. Tennessee first quarter -9.5. And then Sanders 3+ passing touchdowns. That comes in at +508. And then we got Ole Miss first half on the other one. Tennessee full game ATS. Louisville team total over 16.5. And that comes in at +530. So shout out to our guy Kongs. Dutch cleaned us up here. Gave us Colorado -2.5. He is on the under, first half under in the A&M Auburn game. And then he's on Vandy +8.5. Shout out to our guy Dutch Boy Fresh. I got A&M full game. Okay, I'm on the 2.5. You can get a 1 now. You can get a money line now, whatever. I'm on A&M full game. I'm back on Josh Hoover, over 299.5 passing yards, 302 or whatever it is now. I still support Josh Hoover over. And then I'm also on that Ole Miss first half with our guy Kong. Shout out to him. Ole Miss first half. Those are the 3 bets I got right now. I got a couple that I'm probably going to make for the later games. I will post them on X when I do. And then our last thing, we put a parlay together. It came in at plus 4,970. We put it together, 1 bet from each capper on the show today. Louisville full game ATS, ULL full game ATS, Ole Miss first half ATS, UCLA full game ATS, A&M full game ATS, and Colorado full game ATS. Again, be smart. It's plus 4,970 for a reason. But you got to take a shot, to hit a shot. That's how it goes. Moose, what you got?
All right, well, I lied. I'm going to be on a player prop. I'm tailing that Hoover. I thought that he was at, I didn't even check the number. I assumed it was going to be like 330. I just naturally was like, oh, yeah, there's no way they're setting this anywhere I could play it. So I didn't even check. So add that player prop for me. I'm putting that in right meow on Bovada at 302.5 at minus 115. So thank you, Cab, for that. Appreciate it. Let me go through this really quick, and then let me make a little comment at the end. I got here North Carolina -3, North Carolina team total over 29.5, Ole Miss at Florida under 55.5, Colorado team total over 30.5, BYU at Arizona State over 48.5, first half BYU at Arizona State over 23.5, first half Texas Tech -3, ULL team total. I am kind of tailing in a way, Guns over 30.5, minus 115, and then my mega moose spot. Pittsburgh at Louisville. I got Louisville -7.5. Louisville team total over 32.5. Louisville first half -4.5. Louisville team total over 16.5. And then I am with you, as we did it earlier in the week, -2.5 on Texas A&M. You can get a better number there. And let me also just kind of finish with this. I am not sure what my availability is going to be next week with family in town for the Thanksgiving holiday. So if I am unable to be here, let me just express again my heartfelt appreciation for everybody out there in the chat that has been with us all entire year. This has been an absolute honor. Cab, thank you very much for thinking of me and allowing me to come out here. And really, I feel like this is one of those years that regardless of my win-loss record, I feel like I really improved as a capper in college football, taking a lot of the stupid stuff I was doing out, getting a lot more in-depth on things. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Cab, I absolutely appreciate you. You have been like a capping brother to me. So I could sit here and talk about how much you've been, how much you mean to me. So I'm very thankful that we get to do this. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And whether you're with me, against me, best of luck to everybody. Best of luck.
Kelly said it perfect, man. He said he's loving the Moose dives. He puts a ton of work into them. All you got to do is give him your email and you get it for free. Moose, you couldn't have said it better, man. This is since I started capping publicly, this is what I've wanted to do. I wanted to sit here on Saturdays right before kickoff and talk college football with you guys in the chat, with you, Moose, up here on screen. And like I said at the beginning of the show, man, I could cry. It's crazy. It's week 13. I don't want this to end, man. I love doing this with you guys. But damn it, hopefully we'll be back here next year. Keep supporting the channel. Keep supporting Pub Sports Radio. We'll be back next week. I know that. So we can do that. And Moose, if you can't be here, hopefully maybe you can still stop in and give us some of your bets. I couldn't say it any better. I love doing this with you, man. You guys in the chat. We're already at kickoff. So I'll go ahead and shut up, get off our soapbox, and we'll get you guys out of here. Go get paid today, man. Hit the like button. Subscribe to Pub Sports Radio. Think about getting a membership if you haven't. We love you guys. Thank you. Moose, let's get paid, man.